I just wake up in the morning and I yell a lot, even though it's way too early. It's fun though. Wake up, wake up, wake up! Wake up, wake up, wake up. Thank you once again for getting away too early with Garage Gym Life. On this show, we talk about fitness-related content from a home gym perspective, and we get your live reactions to the topics that matter to the home gym community. Do me a favor and hit that like button and hit subscribe if this is your first time on the show. I promise you are in for a very good time today. I know we have a bunch of people who are going to be stopping by for the sake of checking out our guests on the show. And welcome to all of you guys. If you're watching in the replay, shout out to the replay gang. Do me a favor. Once again, hit like and hit that subscribe button for me. If you are already a subscriber, do me a favor and hit that join button so that you can support the channel by it's cost 99 cents a month to support us, and all of that money, it's less than $12 a year, but all of that money goes directly into supporting what we do here. And if you guys rather just do the QR code thing and show how modern you are, there you go. That QR code will take you directly to the channel membership link so you guys can become channel members. All right. And now our channel is designed to be like a magazine. This show is the feature story. It's the centerpiece that we hope will keep you coming back week after week to check out what we have going on. I am John Greaves III. I'm the co-founder of Garage Gym Life. And before we go any further, we got to bring on my lovely co-host, Naomi Greaves, who has agreed to spend her life with me. And I say she hit the jackpot, but we'll let her tell her side of the story. Anyway, let's play her theme song. There you go. Hey, hey. There you go. All right.
It's more of a choose your own adventure, to be quite honest.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
Ding,
you hit the jackpot.
and
Wait,
ding.
you said it.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But I
Day
caught
has
myself.
started off exactly right. The
I caught
day
myself.
has started off exactly the way it should. Oh, man, this is awesome.
With coffee.
So, before we check out who is here in the live chat, along with some amazing live chat information, Naomi, go ahead and tell everybody what is on the menu for today's show.
All right. So, morning, everybody. So, for today's show at 6:15 Eastern Standard Time, we'll have news and other things with me. Then at 6:45, everybody's favorite segment, the Recliner of Rage, and the towel, according to John, disrespect has hit a new low. Then in the second hour at 7 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Central by popular demand, Tommy and Tanner from Massonomics will make their Up Way Too Early debut. And then finally in our third hour, 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, John's mobility coaches from Flow Motion Fitness will join the show to answer your mobility questions, including doing some very basic assessments based off of videos you shared at Garage Gym Life on Instagram.
All right. So you guys make sure that you subscribe to Naomi at Naomi Harris Greaves on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to Naomi Harris Greaves on Instagram as well, so you guys can catch up with what Naomi has going on. It's pretty much home office stuff, but I know a lot of you guys work from home, so that should be right up your alley. And I guess I can modify. It's not towel disrespect. I feel like the towel disrespect came full circle, but that's not Recliner Rage.
It didn't.
I was going to do a larger segment about that for Recliner Rage, but then I realized I was actually mad about something else. So, like, while you were talking, so we're going to talk about the SSD card or the SD card, the external hard drive that ain't working right now. But I'll be mad about that later. I'm mad right now, but that's background rage.
That's not a rage. That's a mystery. What it is, your experience is called frustration.
Oh, it goes into rage very quickly. Every time I try to use it and it doesn't work, so I'm frustrated most of the time. But then when I try to actually use it, I get mad. So that makes it rage. So right now that rage is on simmer. It's like a pot. It's like on simmer. But at 6:45, we're gonna bring it to the forefront and let it boil. You hear that? You hear that tea kettle whistle for those of you who are old
Okay.
enough. But anyway, let's just go see who is in the building right now. So let's go to the live chat. And before let's see, before we show who's in the live. Oh, yeah. All right. So I can see it, but you guys who are watching on YouTube probably can't see it. So we can see it in our dashboard here on StreamYard, but you guys probably can't see it on YouTube. But last night we had our first comment. It was at 5:54 p.m. and that's Coach Carp. You know, the yep makes it official. That is a screenshot from last night because I was afraid it was going to disappear. And he said, yep. And then he led poor Anthony Martinez astray because then Anthony Martinez, he said, it's my first time here. So let's see if it's still pull up. He said, yeah, first time here. And he left that last night. Okay. And I was like, the only reason he would have done that is because he saw that Carp posted a comment. But anyway, so those are technically the first comments that we got. However, I don't know if Carp is here right now. So I did respond to Anthony Martinez. Glad to have you. I told him we'd get started at 6. But if you're watching right now, Anthony, please do me a favor and just drop a comment and let us know that you are, welcome, and make sure that you drop a comment to let us know that you came back. Okay. Because from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. is quite a long time to wait for a live stream to start. I appreciate you, but
it depends on the live stream. So,
oh boy, here we go. Y'all go ahead. Tell this sad tale. Go ahead.
It's not a sad tale.
It's sad to me. Go ahead. I was sad while it was happening. Does that count?
How can you be sad with BTS and Netflix and the live stream?
All right. First of all, Naomi has, all right, let's just paint the picture. All right. We're off on a tangent already. Naomi has a light, an alarm clock that mimics the sun. Okay. So
circadian rhythms.
Yeah. Okay. So last week I was minding my own business. It was what was it, Saturday?
Saturday. Yep.
Yeah, Saturday. I was minding my own business. I was unconscious, right? And then suddenly I could feel the sunlight on inside the house. And that's not normally what happens. But this has happened to me before. I just said, okay, no, I don't submit. I don't submit to tyranny. So I kept my eyes shut and refused to wake up, right? Even though I was waking up, I refused. I rebelled. So I kept my eyes shut. Then I heard a flock of birds fly by. And I said, well, that doesn't usually happen. So I was like, did she wake the birds up? Is a window open? Hold up. So she got me. I opened my eyes and I realized it was also coming from that side of the bed. So not only did she have the sunlight, she also got birds, a flock of birds flying in, and you just hear them just making their little noises, the bird noises. So that woke me up. I'm like, okay, all right, fine. But then I realized what day it was, and she had threatened me previously.
It wasn't a threat. It was warning.
You told me it was coming on.
Yes, do not interfere with the comeback.
You were telling me that BTS was coming on at like 6:45, right?
Yes.
And I looked at the time. I say, okay, in about an hour, we're going to have Asians taking off their shirts and yelling in Korean. So I'll just get up and leave. So I got up and I went downstairs. I didn't see any of that. I know what happens in concerts. People just they start jumping around, whatever. I didn't want to be there for that. So I got up, and I fled. I went downstairs to my home gym where it was safe. All right, Naomi, you go ahead and tell the rest of the story. I
was already locked in on the Netflix live stream on my cell phone. So it was at the countdown. And so I did have to get some rest.
It's depressing even hearing this.
No, it's Ariane. So shout out to anybody else out there that is a huge K-pop fan.
Both of you.
They understand.
Both of y'all are very happy.
No. So
both of you are very happy with your K-pop.
So again, with someone jumping in for this live stream so early, I'm like, hey, I get it. So you're in the same spectrum then.
Spectrum is such a good word to use for that.
Hush it.
Spectrum is the perfect phrase. There you go. So you guys make sure you start posting your questions and comments in the live chat, especially if whether you've got questions for Tanner and Tommy, or if you've got questions for Holly and Colin from Flow Motion Fitness. If you
Mhm.
also, as Naomi said, they'll be doing some very brief, basic assessments of you guys. So if you like can't tie your shoes or something, video yourself failing to tie your shoes, post it on Instagram and share it with at Garage Gym Life, and then I'll be able to pull it up and they will and they'll comment on it. Or if you have like something like say, oh well, every time I lift, I can't get in position because of whatever, you can tag me or you can share that video as well.
Mhm.
Like an actual lifting video or something. But they they typically can kind of give you some feedback no matter what it is that you're struggling to do. Tie your
Mhm.
shoes, sit in a chair, whatever.
Mhm.
Um, because and I can vouch for the fact that they have really transformed my mobility, my ability to get into functional positions, and it's really cool. So I hope you guys will enjoy that. All right, let's see who else we got here. So we'll skip the question of the day, and we got so the first person from this morning. Oh, okay, this is hatred. Carlos, he said, Miss Helen said it's a great day to be up way too early. Wake up, wake up, wake up. So that's a little bit of inside baseball, but I'll give you guys a so
Yeah.
yesterday I had a picnic. So I drove back from Nashville. It's been rough, right?
Eh,
Um, we got back from San Diego, did the show, then I forgot what we had to do Saturday, and then
BTS.
right. Um, Okay. But then after that, then we had something else. Anyway, whatever. The point is, then Sunday morning you had to go to the airport.
Yep.
So I take you to the airport, then ran a live stream at church.
Mhm.
Then I started editing video, which is when I discovered the SSD card wasn't working. All right. Next day then I went to work. Next day, I got home from work, took a nap, and I did Mailbag Mondays. Got on the road, drove to Nashville. So I was in
Mhm.
Nashville, and the plan was to get back and have enough time to do stuff, but I didn't. That plan failed because they shut down a lane on. We went down to one lane only on the highway, the interstate from Nashville back down to here. So um, I ended up having to go straight to the airport to pick Naomi up. And then all the flurry of trying to get there on time. And I was like, okay, I don't want to stay in the car because I'll fall asleep. So I got out to go inside. And somewhere between the car and the terminal, I lost the ticket. So that was my first time ever going through that. And apparently it was Miss Helen's first time too, because we get up to the little terminal, or not terminal, but the ticketing window. Say, hey, we lost our ticket.
Hoping there would be a human in there. There wasn't.
Yeah, and they told us confidently, oh yeah, just go to one of the windows where there's somebody there. And Naomi's like, there is nobody there. There's a red cone. It's a traffic cone
Yep.
blocking it off. Um. Anyway, so then they send the first person out, and let's just call her Florida. All right. Yeah, we'll call her Florida, like JJ's mama. All right. So Florida comes, and she can't figure out what's going on. So she calls for backup. So then Miss Helen came, right? So we don't know Florida's real name. We're just calling her that. But that
Yep.
actually is Miss Helen's real name. And we'll tell you how we know that in a second. So Miss Helen comes, she can't figure it out either. So they're first of all, they gotta look on camera to make sure that we hadn't been there overnight and we're trying to escape with paying for only one day.
Mhm.
Because when you lose your ticket, you got to pay for the full day. But anyway, so they finally find us on camera, and then what they were trying to do was basically charge us, and they couldn't figure out how to charge us, right? Which in my mind meant just let us off with a warning, but I guess that's not how it works. So then they call somebody else. So the third person shows up, and she's trying to show them how to do it. Florida gives up. She flat out gives up, and she says,
Just tell me when you're done.
yeah, she said, just let me know when you figure it out. She gets up and moves on down to the next booth. In fact, I'm gonna call it the booth. Moves on down to the next booth, right? And then Miss Helen and the woman, they're bickering, but they'll slide the glass so we can't hear them. But I can tell they're arguing, right? They're trying to like
Mhm.
be professional, semi, but they're arguing. And then finally, they just gave up because they would open the window to say stuff to us, close it and bicker. Finally, just gave them and left it open, and the supervisor who had showed up said, you know, she was like, Miss Helen, you right? Because Miss Helen was like right behind her, leaning over her shoulder. And she said, Miss Helen, you behind me. Miss Helen, you right behind me. And then they said more stuff, and Naomi was like, "Excuse me," and like, not, and they're like, "Oh no, honey, it's us. We just, you know, it's just us." Okay, and then I was like, "All right." So we watched them argue for a little bit, and eventually they charged us
a little bit.
Okay, they argued for a while, and then eventually,
We were in line for this
it was a while.
penalty
It was a
for
minute.
almost 40 minutes.
Yeah,
I was gonna be hot. Like, I was like, okay, because all the work they were doing,
they
I was
gave
like,
us a $10
maybe.
discount.
Well, see, as much work they were doing, I was like, oh, they're actually seeing how long we were really there, so they charged us like the actual amount. But I'm
Oh,
like, all right, you verified that we came in today. All right, and the store, you're gonna charge before the full day. Charge before the full day. No, 40 minutes later, I was like, okay. And
yeah,
she's like, yeah, we'll you know, and it
they
was
gave
Miss
us $10
Helen was
off.
like, we'll go ahead because you've been so patient and everything. And I'm like,
Oh,
well, you know, hey, you know, tickets lost. I'm expecting to get the L, but hey, no problem. But then it was like all this work, and it's like, and we're gonna give you $5 off, not 10. Okay, but then watching the two of them behind
yeah,
closed glass door, which
yeah.
was even funnier.
That was
I was like,
entertaining.
as long as I'm not the one getting in trouble, hey, here,
Okay.
take my money, let me out of here.
Lesson
So
learned. Lesson learned. But that was an experience.
yeah,
And then we got to drive back through Atlanta traffic to get home.
like
Yay.
I said at the beginning of the hour, it's a choose your own adventure.
So the way Carlos knows is because we called him to complain. We told him about Miss Helen. So all that was explained why he said Miss Helen. All right.
Yes,
Miss Helen looked like a lunch lady. All right. That's just what I
they
said.
all did. They
So
all
let's
did.
see here. Trevor said it's Friday and time to party with bacon all day, every day. I'm not even gonna say that middle part because
Why?
that's wronger than the wrongest wrong thing.
It should not be death by bacon. You
All
should
I'm gonna tell
not
you is
look at potential death
every
and
time a
injury.
chef makes bacon, it's crispy. So
Not an urgent care visit. Sorry.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Good
Letha,
morning.
Balance Grace Coaching said, "Rise and shine. It's a great day to have a great day." By the way, Letha, that thing I called you about, they approved it. So I'll message you when the show is over and give you more details so we can kind of start setting this up for Naomi and I to roll out there to make this happen. Let's see. B said, "Good morning, everyone. Checking in from the Windy City. What's up?"
Good morning.
And there's her answer to the question of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Carlos said, "It's dark out here." I mean, it is. Yeah, I sent you out there. He said, "The mic sounds nice. I appreciate that." Hey, what's up, Jason? He said, "Sup." Now,
Morning.
this is the moment in which I let you guys know because MWPIG 5 has arrived. Just want you to know, in case you didn't know, that MWPIG 5 saves 5% at Prime Fitness
Yes, it
USA.
does.
Just
Yes, it
trying to
does.
get the word out there, in case y'all didn't know that. I just want you to know. Yes, I am committed to that bit. It's going to happen every time you come in here. So you're basically, all you got to do if you want me to promote it is just show up and say hi, and I'm going to do it. Casey, he said, "I'm not here for the guests. I'm here for you, you big, beautiful friend." He's talking to me. Thank you. Appreciate that, Casey. What's up,
Love you,
man?
Casey.
Remember, Casey's kids said I'm funny. They laugh at my jokes.
We all shake our head.
Don't sweat the towel. Something. No, man. No, we're going. All right. The towel gate is too much here. I'm telling you, it's an ongoing. No, don't worry. Don't worry. All right. So it's like Black Friday every week. I need the alarm clock. And Casey's got to get back to work. Hey, man. Love you back, man. Talk to you later. Okay, hold up. Trevor says, "John, don't yuck someone else's yum." I don't. Naomi, follow your Korean friends and make sure you eat floppy bacon while watching. I mean, look, whatever I understand my wife's predilections, and if she wants to go ahead and eat some uncooked bacon while watching Korean
Not
music,
uncooked bacon.
partially cooked bacon while watching Korean music, sure, okay, that's fine. It said 3 hours later. Still waiting for Miss Helen. Carlos, that's hilarious. Spencer says, "Good morning, everyone." Hey, man. What's
Good
up, Spencer?
morning.
And Carlos is happy because he sparked an early recliner rage. Nah, I mean, I'm good. He said that Miss Helen is a lunch lady. This was her side gig. That explains why she didn't, number one, know where the little thing, the little handheld unit
Oh
to
yeah, they
charge
had to
you
find
was.
the little handheld because
Yeah,
they couldn't do it in the
yeah.
little side thingy.
So
Yeah,
you only got one handheld, Miss Helen. Where's your other handheld, Miss Helen? Okay. Anyway,
that's
whatever.
when the door got closed and there was more conversation taking place behind the glass door.
This is hilarious.
So,
I was like, why does this happen to me? Anyway, all right. So
no.
what?
Not why does it happen to you? Why does it happen to me? I'm the one that's in when it happens to you.
Because
I'm
we're
the
a
witness.
unit.
No.
We are a unit. It's
Mm-mm.
teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream
No.
work. All right, now that we called attendance, let's go ahead and real quick, let's give you guys about 40 seconds to check out my favorite powerlifting bar. And then from Bells of Steel, then we're gonna dive into news and other things. All right, so here we go. If I can actually find it, I can never find it. So you know what? I changed my mind. We're gonna look at why I like the Bells of Steel monolift attachments. So the reason I'm so excited about these monolift attachments is they've got rollers. So if the bar is not centered, even when it gets heavy, I can just do that to center it. Huge upgrade over what I had before. All right, there you go. So if you guys want to grab those, or if you want to grab the Bells of Steel deadlift bar, which we're going to be talking about today, or any other products, the link to do that is in the description for this video. Or you can click the shopping button that on this video, and it'll be supporting the channel, but also you'll get some really cool gear. All right, time for news and other things. All right, we can start news and other things off with the question of the day. So, question of the day is, what's one? This one came from Naomi, by the way. I think it's a good question. So, what's one piece of fitness advice you would give to your younger self? So, then my clarifying question was, define younger, and she said, just it's up to you. So, it can be advice to yourself of something that you wish you could go back and tell yourself last year. It can be advice from when you were graduating from high school. Whatever. What fitness advice would you give to your younger self? And we already got let's see here. Already got a couple of answers. Let's take that off of there. So B said advice she would have given her younger self is keep your gym membership. Said, but since I was cutting corners, I dropped it. I understand that. Gym memberships, that's part of the reason why I actually started Garage Gym Life. I don't mean started the brand. I mean like started working out at home, was because my schedule was such that it was just annoying to get to the gym. But I do wish I had continued, even after I moved away from Chattanooga, I wish I had continued my membership in our martial arts school. And then that way I would have been able to just get up there whenever I wanted instead of because it would end up being cheaper. And I would have had a little bit more incentive to train. I probably would have my black belt. Not probably by the time I got to Iraq. By the time I deployed to Iraq, I would have been a black belt if I just kept going. And then let's see here. I think this is an answer to the question. So the advice she would give, Letha would give herself, is mental performance is 95% or more of your success. Your body will do what your mind believes it can. 1% better every day. That's the goal. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Kevin said, hello, good morning. What's up, man? Mike B said, morning.
Morning.
Yeah, Trevor, here's the thing. I think I need to rename the promo because it's always difficult. I've got like, I think 9 videos, especially today since I have a couple other ones. And so it's hard to find that specific one because I have multiple Bells of Steel related ones. And today we have one that's related to another Bells of Steel bar. So it was hard to find the specific one. So I just said, call an audible. Carlos said he would tell himself to stretch more. Hey, look, there ain't no benefit in being tight like fingers in a fist. Trevor said, I would have said, enjoy competing a little more and appreciate the journey for when you stop. Oh, yeah.
That's a good one. That's really good.
Heck yeah. That also really applies to the martial arts thing because I was competing in kickboxing. And think of how often I bring that up. like
Mm-hmm.
the experiences I had, and I don't mean just training, but I mean actually the experience of fighting and all that stuff. Um, even the fact that I lost to Danny Kelly in the second round of the IKF finals at nationals because he quite frankly cheated and hit me in the throat, which was an illegal punch, but that's okay. And then I slipped on water in the second round, and the referee called a TKO, even though I plainly said I could still fight. But I'm over that, sort of, more or less.
You've
And
done
so
so much to get past that,
I
and it
have.
shows.
It was growth,
Since
really.
no one
But
ever.
but I'm just saying,
Uh-huh.
that's all right.
Yeah.
I boxed the brakes off that dude. Anyway, but moving along, I was win, and that's
Mm-hmm.
money. All right. Anyway, we're moving on. Let's see here. Mike said, "Stretch more, little Mike." That's his advice to his younger self. Stretch more, little Mike. You'll thank me later. Hey, dude, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Like, just think of how many. If you're watching this and you're under 40, just look at how many of us who are over 40 are saying, "Man, I wish I stretched more." And B said, "Thanks for reading my comment. I appreciated it." Oh, of course, that's the whole reason. This show does not work if you guys don't comment in the live chat. And if you're going to comment, we need to actually read those comments, because to me, those, the comments a lot of times make the show better than what I would have originally done, because they'll
Mm-hmm.
take the show in different directions and makes
Right.
it a lot more interactive. And so, heck yeah, I love it. Yeah, Mike said it does seem like I'm over it. Exactly, man. I hardly think about it more than once a day. Sometimes it's twice a day, but I'm saying like most of the time it's just once. Said Chuck Norris was watching that tournament and knows the truth. I'm gonna tell you flat out. Round one, I threw a kick, to a body kick. He caught the kick, which is fine. And then I should have had I brought my foot down faster, which is something I then started training specifically. But had I brought my foot down faster, he wouldn't have caught it. But he caught my leg, and then he punched me in the throat, which is legal in Muay Thai, but we were fighting international rules. I know it was illegal because the referee stopped and gave him a warning. And then he hit me in the throat because when you pull the leg like that, it pulls you back. And so he came and hit me with a straight right in the throat. That's all fine. Okay, great. But I hadn't trained for it because that's not something that was in the rules. Okay, great. So then I couldn't drink water the rest of the fight. Round two, I came out there and I gave him a boxing lesson that I know he remembers to this day. And then in round three, I resumed the boxing lesson, and there was a slick spot on the ring, on the canvas. I slipped on it right as he hit me with overhand right. I went back down, stood back up, and the referee looked at me. And now, in the ref's defense, I did say,
Isn't the recliner of rage at
I'm not recliner
6:45?
rage. I'm defending the referee. So Danny Kelly was over here. Okay, that's important. Keep that in mind. All right, remember positioning. Right. So I came up. And the referee's here. I got up. I said, "Ref, I can fight." Oh, there he is. The ref saw that. He said, "No." He grabbed me. And I do remember, the reason I know I was coherent is because I remember hugging Danny and say, "Hey man, I'm part Irish too." So I probably was fine. So there you go. That's it.
All 2.6
That was
thousand that are
extra. That's
watching
not
the
even
show
recliner rage. That was extra.
sees
You're
my
welcome.
pain. Yeah.
That was extra. All right. So anyway, you guys keep on dropping your questions and comments in the live chat, and we will keep on responding to them. Now I want to give a shout. I feel like Jadakiss says, I don't want to sound mad. I'm not mad. I feel marvelous. So I want to get to shouting out because the Bells of Steel deadlift bar is officially a thing. And I said that I wanted to make sure that we said this because this is a big deal, because our very own Jared Martin is part of the reason why it is a thing. So let me let you guys see what it looks like. All right. So this is first look at the deadlift bar. All right. So you guys see there, it's got decent knurling.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's not super, super aggressive. To me, I can feel it. Naomi said that, she could feel the bite of it. It does feel more aggressive than our Bells of Steel deadlift bar. I'm sorry, our Bells of Steel power bar, the bare naked powerlifting bar.
Mhm.
But that is the original knurling because we got that at the first home gym con. So the current knurling for the bare naked powerlifting bar may be more aggressive. But I just know that, this bar, to me, it's the perfect amount of knurling. And so I was able to show you like the difference with the Rogue deadlift bar that we have. And you can
Mhm.
tell, like, you couldn't even tell that there was knurling on the Rogue deadlift bar
It felt
compared to,
smooth to
yeah.
be, yeah, I
She was
mean,
like, "What knurling?" I was like, "Yeah." So there
yeah.
you go. So now, why does Jared get credit for this? I wish he was. I don't know if he's here. Trevor said, "I'm glad to hear you've made peace with the fight." I'm telling you, man. I'm not mad at the referee. I'm not mad at Danny. I'm mad at myself because I know what I should have done. Like I already said it. I should have brought my foot down faster and maybe Superman punch because when he's reaching with his right hand, so I
Mhm.
could have diamond and half circle, like step, pivoted, and then I could have caught him. That would have possibly broken his jaw because that would have been at that position. I would have been outside his shoulder and had a direct shot to either his brachial plexus to hit him and do a brachial stun right here,
Uh-huh.
or I could have broken what?
Uh-huh. Morning, Jared.
Oh, anyway, yeah, moving on. So, hey, Jared, hey, well, I'm answering the people's question.
No, you're reliving the past.
Who does that? Anyway, so Jared, you're here at the exact right time. So the reason why Jared gets a shout out for the deadlift bar is because he was the first person I'm aware of who was calling for it, right? So this leads to the first screen share of the day. All right. I know how much y'all like those.
Mhm.
Good. All right. So the first screen share of the day, and it goes to let's see here. Is this it? Because I want to pull up. Yeah, there it is. I want to pull up where Jared asked me if I would chime in. There we go. All right, so I don't know this was a video from Bells of Steel that Bells of Steel posted on their Instagram, right?
Mhm.
And Jared said, "Hey, I'm trying to put a little community pressure on Bells of Steel to produce a deadlift bar. If you could please like the comment and comment if you wish." So I did. All right, and let's go ahead and share this. And so this is from 2024, and
Mhm.
he made the comment on December 9th, right? And Jared said, what would go with, so this is a deadlift jack with rollers, right? Jared said, know what would go well with this? A deadlift bar. A deadlift bar would go well with this. You could even bring
Mhm.
a prototype to Home Gym Con, right? They said, well, we'll have to consider it. And so I guess so other people were chiming in. I don't know if Jared asked people, but you see Joey Echeverria, our guy Joe Gray, a bunch of people were chiming in and saying, yeah, they wanted it. And then so there's Jake. Then hey, shout out to Flex Marshall Spot, Rob from Vintage Weights, more people, and keep on going, keep going. Chris from Detroit. Oh, I haven't talked to him in a minute. And there we go, right there. As promised, I said I definitely agree. I'm a huge fan of the bare naked powerlifting bar. I would definitely love to see a deadlift bar from Bells of Steel. Home Gym Con would be a great place to unveil it. So, and there's Carlos, who also commented. He said, "Yep, that's an awesome idea." So we had a lot of people from this show who commented on it. So that was December 9th, right? And
Mhm.
then Jared said, hey, on the 20th, he said, hey, just following up to see if you're still willing to email Andrew and Kat on the deadlift bar idea. I mentioned on the show I would. And he said, I'm talking to a friend who works for Bells of Steel. The more voices saying they want this, the better chance Kayvon will consider it. Thanks again. So I respond. I say, yeah. So I did send the email. Okay. He said, thank you. All right. And so then we can stop sharing, because then earlier this month, Kat said the deadlift bar was a thing. It was officially a thing. And I specifically asked her, I said, hey, is this in response to the request Jared made? And she said, yeah, I remember. She said, we had been talking about it, but the fact that Jared started putting the pressure on there um, actually helped them make the decision to spend the money to develop it, right? So I went through that whole sequence because I want you guys to see that Bells of Steel does listen, that when the company
Mhm.
does listen, it's just another reason why we're huge fans of them. Um, And if you guys have product ideas for any brand, don't be afraid to reach out to them and say, hey, why don't you have this? Or we'd love it if you had this, right? So as a result, we've got the we've got the deadlift bar because of there. And Jared said, was that the new Bells of Steel deadlift bar? I'm late today. I'm lazy and I slept in. Jared, you're forgiven because you're the catalyst for this. And to answer your question, yes, it was the Bells of Steel deadlift bar. And I will put it back up, but this time I'll do it this way so you guys can so we can comment on it. So this is the deadlift bar. This is what it looks like up close. We got it yesterday. The only thing that I don't like right now, or I don't know if I like it, is the thickness of the I'm calling them the collars. See right there?
Oh.
The right here that on the start of the sleeve. So the sleeves have ribbing. That's what I'm showing you guys right now. But right there, see how thick the collar is that leads into the sleeve. Yeah, that's what I'm pointing at right there. And right there, I'm going to show you guys, for comparison's sake, this is the bare naked powerlifting bar. See how thin those collars are. Now you can deadlift with this bar. So I'm not sure if there's some structural reason for why they went with the thicker sleeve right there, thicker collar right there. But that's the only thing so far. And I haven't had a chance to deadlift with it. That's the only thing that jumped out to me. It's like, oh, I don't know if I like this or not. And the reason why I'm not necessarily sure if I like it is because I don't know if you're really strong, if that's going to interfere with you being able to put a lot of plates on there. If you do bumper plates and they're the normal size bumper plates, you're obviously going to not be able to get as many bumper plates on there because of the thickness of that collar. But yeah, but otherwise, I like it so far. And let's see. Hey, Anthony Martinez. Hey, you came back. What's up, man? Appreciate you coming back. I know you said last night that you said this is your first time here. So yeah, the show starts at 6 a.m. And but I appreciate you chiming in last night. That was actually pretty motivating. All right. So Jared said I totally started that campaign and asked the community for help. Yeah, man. Like I said, that's what I actually posted in the rundown that I sent to Naomi. I was like, basically, a shout out to Jared because he's the reason the bar is a thing. So, what do you? So Jared said he wants to know about the bar and how it is. So please make a review video. We're gonna do that. We're definitely making a review video. We're gonna make some content for it anyway. But what are your preliminary thoughts about the bar, Naomi?
I mean, again, when you took it out and was able to kind of look at it, it when I used it just to do some RDLs, the knurling definitely has a bite, so it's noticeable. And I'm not a huge fan of aggressive knurling, so if you like that security that knurling gives, you'll definitely appreciate it. That's on the bar. But I mean, it felt good when using it. So I'll get a chance to test a little bit more over the weekend. Probably will rotate it out with, of course, my other bar of choice.
Yeah.
But I will definitely be able to kind of see. Now, I'm not putting up any huge numbers yet.
That's all right.
But it definitely it's well worth it to definitely give it a try.
So just give you guys some quick details. Obviously, there's no center knurling. It's a 27 millimeter shaft. So I'm looking forward to seeing how Naomi enjoys pulling with it because it's smaller diameter. So I know it fits in your hand a little bit easier. The shaft apparently is longer. So that may be another reason why like I said, there may be a structural reason for why the collar is thicker. Because the longer shaft is to increase the whip. So the bar will flex a little bit more. And let me see here. So it's a 44.09 pound bar. So it's not quite 45 pounds. So keep that in mind when you're loading plates. and it's got a max capacity of 1,000 pounds.
Okay. Because I mean, again, when I listen to you and others that talk about like the whippiness of the bar versus the stiff bar, and we talked about it a little bit last night when with the unboxing. I guess because I don't lift like astronomical weight yet. Um, for me to be able to say, "Oh, I could definitely tell the difference of a whip and a bar or not." Um, I'm not there yet, so I can't really say, "Oh yeah, I can definitely feel it." But be interesting on how it feels when you're, deadlifting since
Yeah.
you are pulling a lot heavier.
And I'm pulling conventional right now too, so it'll be interesting to me to pull with it to just see how it feels compared to the other bars that I was using. Um,
Would would you feel the whip different? And again, sorry, just
yeah.
would you feel the whip different in conventional versus if you did like mixed grip or sumo?
Well, I pull mixed grip when I pull conventional, but if I tend to pull faster when I pull sumo, so I'm more likely to
Mhm.
feel the whip just because of how fast the bar is going to come off the ground.
Okay.
It's easier for me to like be deliberate and take my time with pulling conventional than it is with sumo. So I might.
Okay.
We'll
Okay.
see. We'll see. Um, Jared said, thanks for the rundown on the history. I actually thought it was 2025 when we started asking for the product, but it was 2024. So this product took quite a while. I mean, it was the end of 2024, but yeah.
Mhm.
But that's another reason why I like to go back and, like the kids call it pulling receipts or whatever. It's
Mhm.
not always a bad thing. I like to show, hey, and give credit to people who start things because I'm like, if not for you, we wouldn't have this thing. Carp
Mhm.
said it's on his radar, and he said he remembers Jared's campaign for this because Carp did comment on it as
Mhm.
well. He said, and the Viking Press. Another person who commented on that post was Matthew Porter. Good morning, Matthew.
Morning.
Let's see here. And Carp said, I know a Tennessee state record holder in the deadlift who can give it a true forklift test. Yeah. We'll be driving past that record holder's house. Um, but I don't know if we'll have time to stop there. And I just want to make sure that all the ice is melted because I'm not interested in slipping and falling like he did, and then have that video all across the internet like he posted
Mm-mm.
it.
I don't want to do any slip, fall, or anything like
Uh,
that. Nope.
Now
Nope.
it
Nope.
was icy that day, but you can never be sure. Um, so Naomi mentioned the unboxing. The unboxing video is available. So if you are a channel member, you can check out that unboxing when this show is over. If you're not a channel member, all you got to do is use this QR code right there, and you become one. And all of a sudden, you'll be able to see all the videos that we have in the members only section.
Mhm.
All right. Now I want to say, remember I said that this is not Recliner Ridge because I feel like it's vindication actually, because towel
Mhm.
justice has been served. Okay. So you guys just go ahead, just check this out real quick. All right, so this is a momentous occasion because Naomi's been making fun of my bells of steel towel. Oh, it's a loincloth, right?
I did not say that.
You said it's a loincloth. Okay, so anyway, so we got the the Bells of Steel dead bar right here, and it's shipped in oil. And so Naomi, before she touches, she said, "Ooh, I need to wipe it off. Can I use your?" And I said, "No, absolutely not. You talk way too much trash about my towel. Say you're sorry. Say you're sorry. Say you're sorry." I'm sorry I made fun of you for being held hostage at the Canadian border. Sincerely yours. Go ahead, say your name.
Copy paste. Copy paste.
Y'all all see this, right? Y'all all see this. I told you there would be a reckoning.
Bells of steel, bells of steel.
No. I ain't trying. No.
Yes.
Oh, wow, look at this. So nice to have a towel in these moments. Am I glistening?
You're begging for a butt kick.
Yeah. Maybe I should go get one of your towels that you seem to have so many of.
That's called bitter wind.
Yeah.
With a chance of rain. It's called tears.
Y'all see that, right? Okay. I hope y'all saw that. Okay. I hope y'all saw that. Okay. That's all I'm saying.
All I was
Well,
doing was
for a
wiping down the bar. That's it.
Yes, with
And it was
the
right
towel
there.
you made fun of. With the towel you made fun of.
I didn't
Right?
make fun of it.
As
First
soon as
of
it
all,
arrived. Oh, hold on, no. I'm
Pat and
reenacting.
Andrew, I was not making
John,
fun of the
John
towel.
is having a
I
moment. Are
actually
you
was
crying?
making.
John's in tears because his towel showed up.
No,
I've got video footage of all of this. Okay, I went through
it
something.
was right there, and I was like, okay, just gonna wipe down
Yeah.
the bar because I didn't want the ball to slip out of my hand or anything like that because of the
Naomi,
oil.
you don't have to
So
convince me that having a gym towel in those moments is important.
it was
I'm
right
just
there.
I'm just pointing out to you that a gym towel is important, and it was right there because I made a big deal about making sure
So
that we
would
could
a
get it. So
napkin
I
and a paper
provided for
towel,
the
but they
home
weren't there.
because I'm a provider. I provided for the home and got us a gym towel that we would need. Okay, because I understood that this moment would arise. Because what if the moment had happened and I had not been intentional about providing gym towels of various sizes? Exactly. You're welcome. You hit the jackpot the day you met me. I know you did. Anyway, Carp said gym towels are on his radar, and he said the live stream don't lie. I'm telling you, I got video footage of what I'm going through right now.
You mean what I'm going through?
No, I don't at all. So it's time for Recliner Rage, and we'll talk about the spin jumper right after that because this won't even take long. But we're not gonna skip Recliner Rage. I feel marvelous right now, but we're gonna take a minute. I'm gonna be mad, and then I'm gonna go back to my happy and serene, normal, happy and serene self. Okay, so let's go ahead and I gotta. What do I call it? It's like self-defense. Yeah.
Really? Is that what we're calling it?
It's the recliner of rage.
It's the recliner of rage, 'cause he's not happy.
So first of all, the fact of the matter is that with this SSD that's supposed to be right here at this very moment, it's supposed to be right here. Y'all know you can't see, but it's supposed to be right there. And I'm supposed to be able to use it to get the B-roll off that I went to all the trouble to shoot at HFA to do not one, but two projects. In fact, there's other projects on there. And also because the SSD is not working, I can't get the B-roll on. It says access denied. Ask an admin for permission. I'm the admin. I can't I give myself permission to use my SSD card, all right? But it's not working. So as a result, I'm not able to do the two different projects I'm supposed to do. And I kind of got some skepticism about the third project that we're supposed to work on tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow. This is a crisis. The SSD is not working. This is an outrage. It's an outrage. It's chosen to betray me at the worst possible time. And I feel it's personal because it worked all the way to California. I'm sorry. It worked in Georgia. It worked to Tennessee. Worked all the way to California. Worked in California. Came back to Georgia and tried to use it when I really needed it. And it betrayed me right then and there, right when I was at my lowest point. At my lowest point. So it's kicking a man when he's down. It's racism. Actually, it can't be. The SSD's black. Never mind. It's just a conspiracy.
So here's a question. Because you got the laptop and you were taking things. No, you were taking things off. You're like, this is not necessary. This is not necessary. This is not necessary. Try and take things off. And it's like, just leave it. Let Casey take care of it. Casey,
I didn't take anything off.
Okay.
But I feel like you might be onto something because we got the laptop in the PX at Camp Pendleton. So it's the government. It's the government, and they're trying to get me, and they're trying to prevent me from succeeding and doing the things we need to do to make our business move forward.
Really?
I knew it. You're right.
Really?
Exactly. You're onto something, Naomi. It's a conspiracy. I told you it's a government conspiracy. And they ship those laptops to every PX in the Marine Corps network, so every Marine Corps base, probably every Army base as well. So this is a global conspiracy that I just uncovered. Yes, I just uncovered a global conspiracy against content creators. Tanner's backstage. He's horrified. I can see his face.
He still has time to run away.
No, he does not. It's too late. He logged in. It's too late. He's here. All right. But
blink twice.
But now I'm good. I just wanted to get that off my chest and let people know, all of the content creators out there who are having trouble with your SSDs, I am fighting for you. I'm fighting for you in solidarity. We will not take this line down. We won't.
No, but we will back up and let you take the forefront.
No, absolutely not. We don't have time to talk anymore about rage. I told you I don't want to feel mad today. I feel marvelous. And especially because you didn't think I could do the spin jumper thing. And I just want to show everybody that I was able to do it. Here we go. All right. I don't even know if how this is gonna feel on my knee. But we'll give it a shot. So actually put this foot through there. Also, we did not do this when I was a kid. This may have been done somewhere in West Africa, but not in my neighborhood. So you say you just kind of like kick it.
Well, since you have it on your left foot, it's gonna go toward your right. So
you just like kind of like kick it around.
Well, then you have to kind of get it to spin.
So this part is actually a wheel. I didn't think about that.
Get it to just. That's not.
This is not.
No.
Okay.
Okay. So, no. Gonna go backwards.
That's it. You know what?
So also, my husband doesn't know how to skip. So that's the funny. Okay, there you go.
That's it.
Repeat.
I mean, I don't understand the big deal. You move your foot out the way. This doesn't seem as challenging as you made it sound.
No, the other foot is.
Oh, look. I don't see the big deal.
That's not how you do it.
I mean, oh, look. Oh, yeah? Backwards skate only.
Wow.
I don't see the problem. I don't see the big deal.
You're doing it. You're gonna hurt yourself. Look what I can do.
Oh, I see what it is. I'm jumping too soon. Dang it. Put this down.
I can see Nora enjoying it. Well, look at there.
Did you ever in your life challenge me? Okay, woman.
Look, you're skipping.
What? Stop right there. Men don't skip. Ever. That's right. Men do not skip. But I just want you to see that I'm an athlete. Okay? I just want you to see that I'm an athlete.
I was prepared to see you tilt over and hit the iron bowl strength rack. And I was like, well, if we got to go to urgent care, I'll just, at least I have video footage of what happened.
No.
But
I'm an athlete. That's all you need to remember. I'm an athlete. Okay. Letha loves this. She said, John, this is the best entertainment. Naomi's laugh is contagious. I don't feel like you're laughing with me, Letha, but okay. And let's see here. Say how masters lifters get injured. No, whatever, Carp. And Matthew said, do that with a hula hoop and teach that to 30 first graders. Nah, my hips don't lie, buddy. You don't need me. You don't need me at your school teaching the kids any hula hoop stuff. Anyway, before you get out of here, Naomi, let everybody know what you got going on and where they can follow you.
You can follow me at YouTube at Naomi Harris Greaves, or you can follow me on Instagram at Naomi Greaves. And hit me up on DMs. Otherwise, you can always see me here on Garage Gym Life, either in front of the camera or behind the camera. But definitely continue to stay connected.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you being here. I don't appreciate your not respecting the gym towel, but we'll work on that, offline. And
what you gonna do?
I'm gonna show you the importance of the towel. I'm going to show you all the applications for a gym towel. Then why gym towels are a vital piece of gear. And then eventually I'm going to convince you. I know I can do it. I made you change your last name. All right, then. Too bad you can't stay. Love you. Bye. Crispy bacon rules. All right, then. Later. Bye. Love you. All right. So now we got to be professionals-ish, right? Because we're about to add LinkedIn. So let's go ahead and add our friends from LinkedIn. and then we're gonna add Tommy and Tanner to the show, assuming they haven't run away because of all the shenanigans. All right, so let's go ahead and add LinkedIn. Let's see here. Oh, wait a minute. Do this one thing here. LinkedIn's acting dumb. All right, see if that helps. Fix that. All right, boom. Try that. Ha! All right, shout out to the Central Time Zone. It is approximately 5:55 in the morning your time. We appreciate all of you for starting your Friday by getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life. Once again, we are heading into the second hour of the show. If you are watching on LinkedIn, make sure that you guys are following the Garage Gym Life media page on LinkedIn. That way you don't miss a single episode as we continue to interview the most influential business owners, CEOs, and content creators who influence the home fitness community. And that definitely includes my next guest, Tommy Baird and Tommy DeFia, Tanner Baird and Tommy DeFia, the co-hosts of the extremely popular Massonomics podcast, the YouTube channel, Stall Mat Product Empire. These guys they've been one of the most requested guests on the show for probably since I started doing this show. So I'm excited to have them backstage. You guys are ready to go? Boom, boom. All right, we're about to break the internet. Let's go ahead and bring them on right now. Give a warm welcome to Tommy and Tanner. Guys, thanks for getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life. What's up?
Happy to be here.
Look at that. I even got your theme music ready. Now, one of you violated one of the rules. It's a standing rule on the show, which is nobody has a deeper voice than me. So I'll put you backstage, let you fix that. I don't know what you're gonna have to do. Suck on some some helium, whatever you gotta do. I don't judge a man. Whatever you gotta do to make it happen. And then you come back when your voice is higher.
Well, I think it's because it is 5:57 our time. We haven't actually woken up yet. It will change as time goes on and the vocal cords loosen up a little.
Okay. Oh, pause. So are you tired enough that you're not actually aware of all the things you're saying? Because that would be perfect for me.
I think I'm awake. We got kids. We're used to not having perfect sleep. Yeah. So it's just another day. We just usually are podcasting this early.
I always wondered why they called it the Up Way Too Early show, and now I get it.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, Anthony Martinez said we need some rich piano hype music going. Okay, hold on a second here. Hang on there, buddy. All right, let's see here. Oh, wait, you know what? This is it. It's a momentous occasion. How's that? Is that better? Is that work?
Yeah.
You feel? Yeah, there you go. You feel like you're approaching the Death Star. You don't know what's about to happen next. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Anyway, I want to say this, right? Because this to me is hilarious. Because we met at Home Gym Con in year 2 in French Lick. But I found out that you guys were going to be attending when Kayvon from Bells of Steel broke the news on March 15th of that year. He was on the show. Kurt from the Kurt Locker asked a question. So Kayvon, in his defense, was trying to keep it on the low. That's not what we do here. We go ahead and we go ahead, we spoil things, we break news. And Kayvon says, kind of like spilled the beans, right? So in fact, I'm gonna go ahead because I know I wanted to play this. I don't know if you guys actually got a chance to watch this. So I'm gonna play this right now. So you guys see this. There we go. He wants to know if you're bringing the if you're gonna have the Massonomics Dudeman with you at Home Gym Con.
Okay. Well, I feel like there's like a rumor. That's one of the special guests we're working on right now. So I'm trying to.
Look how uncomfortable he looks. He's like, I shouldn't be talking about this. I was loving it.
Yesterday, I think I just kind of said.
That's just awesome. He's also very tired at this moment too.
Northwest Dakota.
Northwestern South Dakota or something like that. Nobody knows where y'all live, by the way.
And the airline situation is not great there. So yesterday I emailed them and I was like, yeah, let's do it. I asked them a few questions and I was like, but like the flights from where you're coming from, like it's a long day. You're gonna have The,
All right, so we're gonna stop right there
Yeah.
because that leads to what I thought was the most epic event, epic tangent ever on the show. But my first question is this something because a couple of your fans were watching this show when Kayvon was on, and then they were like immediately going and like reaching out to you guys and trying to confirm, right? So they were caught off guard. So was this something that you guys were trying to keep on the wraps on your end? And Kurt, Kayvon, and I guess me, we all ruined the surprise.
I don't think I think it was just literally so in the works at that point in time that it just we were literally in the process of figuring out and making sure we could even do it. So I don't think we were necessarily trying to keep it under wraps. It was just that it was so fresh. It was probably literally going, getting confirmed that day, and just because it kind of came like the 11th hour. We really weren't planning on coming that year. And then Kayvon said, yeah, let's make it happen. And we're like scrambling with our schedules just to make sure we could make it work, because we wanted to, obviously, but we just had to make sure we could actually make it happen.
So like I said, that led to a very epic moment because we were like I said, we were trying to he was trying to explain to me like where you guys were gonna have to go. And I was like, wait a minute. So they're in South Dakota and they're trying to get to Indiana. I'm just gonna show you what happened, what happened next, right? I thought this was hilarious because this laid the foundation for every other tangent that's ever happened on this show. So
yeah,
Let's take a look at their probable flight path. All the technology, okay? So we're trying to get them to Indiana, okay? And here's the thing. So they're in South Dakota, am I right? So they're here, all right, and they're trying to get from here through the wilderness of Iowa, across Illinois to Indiana. And so because of the miracle, because probably nobody's ever thought of doing that. I don't even know how Larry Bird got to wherever the surface, okay? But so the only way they can go is to fly down to here where I am.
Yeah.
And if they get here early enough, they can ride with me because I'm driving.
that was a legit offer. I said, you flying there.
Make sure they know that that's available too. All right.
Anyway.
So they got to fly down to here and then go up here.
Yeah.
When
that's literally what you guys, and that tangent is the reason for every other tangent that's ever happened on this show. That's in the moment he was like explaining it, and I was like, so in my head, I was like, wait a minute, isn't like that's a really long way around. Let me see if I can find a map. So I'm Googling map of the United States while Kayvon was talking. I had the big screen up and then pulled it up, and I just said, I don't even know where I'm going with this, but we're about to just use this map and see how bad this can be. So I loved it. I love it.
We eventually made it there, though.
Yeah.
I saw you. I didn't know that you guys had made it until you guys walked in after we finished shooting this show there, and you walked in and said, "Hey, I'm Tanner. I'm Tommy." And I said, "Oh, they made it! All right, yeah, that's cool." So when we started putting this together, I will say, I want to talk about Gym Radar a little bit, because when we started putting this together, Tanner, you invited me to join Gym Radar, and I'm glad I did, because not only was I prepared when Rex Peckinpah asked me, "Hey, have you heard of Gym Radar?" And I was like, "Buddy, I've got a profile on there, all right?" And I noticed like you had guys like going every show that you guys were on, because you were on Garage Gym Radio, right? And somebody said, "Hey, what's going on with Gym Radar?" And Tanner, you helped me out because they were a little caught off guard, but I was ready. I was prepared. And I'm glad that you guys told me about it. But it also led to several like follow-up topics. The biggest one, I think, is that the success you're having with Gym Radar is a sign that people are looking for alternative social media. So talk about that. And then also I want to know if you guys were surprised by how many people like immediately seem to buy in as soon as they find out about it. They're like, "Oh yeah, cool, I'll do it." So go ahead, whoever wants to start.
Tommy, you go ahead first.
Yeah, so I guess as far as the alternative to social media, that one's an interesting one, because even in the initial stages of Gym Radar, this was like almost a 6-month project. So the project grew and changed a lot over that time. The more we came up with ideas, the more we got to use the site. our goal in the beginning was just to make a really good tool for home gym owners to use. And over time, like I was saying, it slowly evolved into a system that, it allowed some more commentary through reviews and things like that. But, we never put like an actual discussion board, comments, an open forum like you might think of like the Facebook group or Instagram, where people can just talk about anything. That was never built into it. So the idea of it replacing social media honestly is a bit of a surprise for us. And we did get that comment several times from people like, oh, now that I have this, I can get my home gym fix here. I don't need to bother with Facebook anymore. I don't need to bother with Instagram. Like, this is the thing. I don't need to mess with social media anymore. That hasn't been the common answer, but there's definitely been a few people that have said that over time. And I think that did surprise us a little bit. What was part 2 of the question? I already forgot.
Did it surprise you how many people like were like, like, it's not like, sometimes the home gym community has, you got some early adopters, but you also have some people who are like kind of like wait and see. Let's see if it's going to be something. Because, like, for example, look at the home gym Discord, right? There was some buzz, but a lot of people like me were like, let me see if this is something. Do I really want to get on another platform? With you guys with Gym Radar, it looks like people just immediately like, heck yeah, let's do it.
Yeah,
So
and that's
surprise you?
We've talked about this, like what were the numbers we expected right off the bat? Because as of right now, we have over 1,000 registered users on the site, and we honestly had no idea what to expect. I feel like in our mind at one point there was like, well, 500-ish seems good, and do we get to 500 in a week, a month, 6 months? We thought we'd get to 500 someday. I guess me personally, I didn't think we'd get to 1,000 users as fast as we have. So like that part's been a surprise. But we kept a pretty open mind there just because we didn't know what to expect. Tanner, what did I miss? What do you think?
No, that's accurate. It's going great. First of all, I'd say, we're awesome. We're very excited about it. And we're really thankful for everyone that has gotten on it and started using it. And not only are people signing up, they're also using it. You can see in terms of reviews and the activity that's going on there. There's like 11,500 reviews that have been left on the site as of this morning in 1 month, which is kind of crazy. It's probably, I would agree, it's gotten bigger than what we would have thought it did at this point, which is awesome. That's what we want. But it's not by accident. We've been trying to do everything possible within our means to get people aware about it. And hopefully we made a product that's fun enough or useful enough that when people get to it, they do want to get in on the action and sign up.
What are people telling you guys as far as, because you guys have a really active following. We got, I can even see some of the people coming in with like your catchphrases. So like, oh, Doyle Basement Lives, he's like, looks like a proper country again with this live podcast. Right? So you guys definitely have people who are engaged, but what are people saying in terms of feedback about the platform now that they're on it? Like, oh yeah, because sometimes things seem like a good idea, but then the execution may be off. I think you guys hit it out the park, but what are other people telling you?
Well, so luckily for us, because we do have a very engaged audience and a very engaged group of supporters, we were able to roll this out over several beta testing sessions. So that was huge for us because, when we launched the site about a month ago, if that was the first time anybody had seen it, we actually would have been just flooded with things that we could have improved, errors, usability issues, all types of stuff. But what we actually did is we started just picking out 3 to 5 people at a time and say, hey, get in here and try this out. And Tanner, when did that start? Like February, end of January, something like that?
Yeah, probably in January, I guess, with the first testers.
Yeah. And so what we would do is like every couple of days, we'd get 3 to 5 people in there, and some of them would be like, this is great. This works perfect for me. A few people would say, hey, this is hard to do. I can't find this. What's going on here? And we'd take those criticisms, those critiques, and say, okay, is this legit? Did that person mess something up? Are we doing something wrong? And typically it was us that did something wrong. And, we made the tool a little better, and then we're like, okay, we fixed that problem. Let's get 5 more people in here. And then if all of a sudden that's not coming up, it's like, ooh, okay, I think we did solve that. But now here's the next problem. And so that happened over the course of, like 5-6 weeks or so. And we really did streamline a lot of processes, because I can tell you the website from the first group of people we let in to the website that got launched was a drastically different thing as far as conceptually it was the same, but usability that we made some huge improvements.
Okay.
And even after we launched, there was a few more, but yeah, that really helped having like our staged release the way that we did it.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest. That's one of the advantages we had going into it, is already having an audience. If Massonomics didn't exist, we hadn't been doing this for 10 years. We haven't been doing the gym tours for a few years and the podcast for 10 years, all that. It would have been obviously way harder to get traction off the bat. We wouldn't have had that built-in audience that just wants to check out what we're doing, no matter what it is, whether it's good or not good. Luckily, I think that this one did work out, and it should expand beyond just our audience. But without those initial people, it would have been pretty, a bigger uphill battle for us for sure.
So let's sticking with Gym Radar a little bit, Tanner. You guys told the Northern Startup Center. You guys told them that you guys see your failures, rather than looking at them as insurmountable roadblocks, you see them as invaluable experiences, stepping stones to glean wisdom. So, if I'm looking at Gym Radar, what would you say from the inside looking out, like from the insider, I don't know, behind the curtain, whatever? What would your dream vision of Gym Radar be, let's say 5 years from now?
Ooh, 5 years from now. That is a big vision, because to be honest, we haven't talked about that one. We've talked about our vision.
What are we doing tomorrow?
And also we've talked quite a bit about the vision for 1, 2, 3, 4 months from now.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this is good. We haven't actually I don't think we've ever discussed 5 years from now. So Tanner, this could be an open brainstorming session. But I guess my vision would be, I'd love to see thousands of users. I'd love to see when you start Googling home gym stuff.
Right.
Right now, Google anything, best power bar, things like that. There's a good chance Garage Gym Reviews is going to come up first. They played that SEO game about perfectly.
Yep.
I think there's no reason that we can't be right up there competing with them. So if you're looking for attachments, if you're looking for barbells, if you're looking for racks, there's no reason you can't pop up on our site, see thousands and thousands of reviews, and also connect that with thousands of data points that tell you what people are actually buying, not what people are telling you should buy, but what people are actually buying. And it kind of becomes the de facto tool for, if you're creating a home gym or interested in home gyms, this is where a lot of your searches, or all of your searches, might just be starting.
No, go ahead.
No, that's good. I'm actually coming to you, Tanner, because would you want it to be something like a like they have like the room planners now? People are starting like, okay, well, you can plan your home gym, because to me that's like the next logical step.
Yeah, so we have that that's on our whiteboard as a thing. We think that's not the need we originally set out to define and to fill the gap for. We know other people are working on that sort of thing. It's not impossible that is an addition to the site at some point in time, but we look at that as more as a tertiary addition to the site.
Okay.
I agree with Tommy.
He's waking up. You see, he said tertiary.
I've been using that quite a bit. So
tertiary. I was like, the coffee's hitting him. Okay.
Yeah. In 5 years, what I would like it to be, just really vaguely or generally speaking, is the primary tool for anyone that's ever planning on making a purchase for their home gym. So if you're going to make a purchase for your home gym, I want this to be a site that you can't help but check out, because it's going to be so useful and so valuable that you'd be crazy not to see what's on Gym Radar about that piece of equipment before you click the buy button. And that's a, there's a number of different ways for us to get to that. And I think we've built the framework to get there, and it'll just continue to get better with work and effort. But that's what I want, is that if you're going to buy something, you're like, of course I need to know what information is out there on Gym Radar before I spend $3,000 on a rack. I'd be crazy not to check it out first.
So biggest Brad said, I prefer this time for my podcast. Well, you are in luck because this is exactly when we're on every Friday. Okay.
Big Brad.
The show actually
Brad the
starts at
pad.
6. So, if you want to be here, and actually the show starts at 6, but it's crazy because there are people who are in Central Time Zone and other time zones. And when I come in here at 4 a.m. East Coast time to get started on my show prep and stuff, there are already people like posting comments, like they're waiting for it to start. And I'm just like, I salute y'all. I don't even know if I would do that if I loved the show. I don't know if I'd be there 2 hours early before the show starts. You know what I mean? Like I'm
That's
not
early.
especially not that time of the morning. But so Brad, we are here as early as you want to be up. I'm not gonna necessarily be up with you, but as early as you want to be up, we got the show all ready for you. All right. Appreciate you being here, man. Carp said these guys grew up on hose water. And I feel like this is yet another thing that's
Yeah,
that's another Massonomics thing.
There's a lot of them in the if anything looks odd to you in the chat, you can pretty much assume it's coming from a listener. Yes.
Hey, I welcome it, man. Hey, what's up, Ashley 332? We call her 332 because of her Instagram. So it's Ashley ___ the ___ amazing ___ and I'm the only one that remembers that. All right, so we called it 332. We just call it 332, and that's how I remember. What's up, Ashley? Hey, Dean has arrived. What's up, man? What's up, Dean?
I guess they do let anyone in here.
I'm telling you. Hey, and so this is a Jim Radar one. So this is Kevin. Kevin's in Japan. He says, great work with Jim Radar. Right now, everything I add needs to be approved since it's just in the Japan market. I'm glad it gets saved with photos and links. So this actually leads to something else I was going to ask you guys about, because I remember the ATX guys. I want to say it was Marvin who said this, but he said basically there's not a huge community of content creators over there. So they watch YouTube with US content creators to find out, like what's out there, even for stuff that's in Germany, that's only available overseas. And it's a similar thing. Kevin is the only content creator in Japan in the home gym space. So what do you see the potential as for people in that situation? Because they don't really have YouTube. They don't have social media. So this might be even bigger for them. Go ahead, Tommy.
Yeah, so I will tell you that was another thing we did not anticipate with the website was building other countries' product catalogs. And, I think we threw the number out there, there's over 6,000 pieces in the product database right now. And before we launched, we had a lot of American stuff in there because that's what we know and that's what we use. And we quickly found out that people in Europe, people in other parts of the world have obviously different product options than us. And so what has happened is through the website, there is a feature to submit product requests so we can add them. And I can tell you, I'm not sure I'd ever heard of the brand Mirafit before we started the website.
It's a UK brand.
Yeah, we've probably added a couple hundred Mirafit pieces. Strength Shop UK. Strength Shop was in America. They don't really sell equipment here anymore, but added a ton of Strength Shop UK products over time. A lot of ATX stuff that, ATX is a weird one because we kind of sort of know about some of their stuff, but I can tell you there are websites in Europe that have a very large ATX product catalogs. We've added a lot of those. And yeah, at Home Gym Gains, with things in Japan, we've added some, we've had some people from Japan and Southeast Asia and places like that submit product requests, and we are happy to add those. Yeah, we'll just add those as they come in because we want it to be the most complete product catalog on the website or on the internet.
That makes sense. Yeah, I think that's the big thing is like, so we just came back from the HFA trade show, like I told you guys in the email, and it was just insane. So let me slight tangent, but that's okay. We got back from HFA. It was a Thursday. Got back from HFA. I immediately had to finish up show prep for this show for last Friday. Did the show. Then we had, Friday and Saturday are usually video editing, video shooting time, right? And then Sunday, my wife Naomi had to fly out to Texas for a conference for work. So I got up. I was going through it. You guys heard me going through it about the SSD card. So I was still going through it with that. But I got up, took her to the airport, got back, chipped away a little bit at it. We run a live stream for our church. Went did that. I worked nights, so I worked 12-hour night shifts, right? So I went to work. Then Monday, woke up, got back Monday morning, took a nap, woke up, and did my Q&A show, the Monday mailbag. That's about 30 minutes long. Did that, got a 30-minute bench session in because you can't skip bench day, and then got on the road and drove to Nashville. So all that stuff was going on, and I was in Nashville until essentially Thursday, right? And so it's just been kind of like insane. But with all that being said, it's like when you going back to Gym Radar, when you come back and you see like all the people who are coming, who are watching from different places, it's like that's how I become aware of all of these brands. And then while we're at the HFA show, I'm seeing stuff that people were just asking me, oh, have you seen this? What do you think? Because they just assume that we know about every product, every company, right? So I'm at the HFA trade show, and they're like, and I'm starting to see like Panada and some of these other brands that I had only heard about, but I didn't even know like what their stuff looked like. I didn't even recognize their logo. There's like companies from Vietnam there, and I'm like, I didn't even know they made gym equipment in Vietnam. So there's a, what do you call it? Like there's a huge universe of equipment out there, and you guys, I do not envy you the task of adding all of these to your good luck.
It's really opened our eyes to how much more is out there than what we thought, even with us thinking we know a lot about it. It's been quite the eye opener. But we are happy to add those. Actually, you know, some of the people from those countries that get on Gym Radar are going to have to be the pioneers and request a lot of that stuff, which they have. But we're happy to add them because everyone that's there is one that's going to be there for the next person that joins, and they're going to say, wow, I cannot believe that is already on the site. You know, and then that's a cool experience when that happens.
Yeah. So Fat Matt said people will type in product plus Gym Radar versus product plus Reddit/Garage Gym Reviews. I can 100%, because I know that people tend to, because it goes back to belief too. You know, do people trust the review? Do they trust that it's an unbiased review? Is it accurate? And even you can be unbiased and wrong. You know, I mean, you know, not to kick Garage Gym Reviews back in, but look how many times they admit that they put something together incorrectly, because they do so many, you know what I mean? So, and then we've done the same thing. We flat out put something together upside down, and we were complaining in the video about how it just didn't work. And then the company had to let us know, yeah, well, because it's upside down. So, oh, yeah. Okay. Very well then. Touche. All right. So you have a lot of people who go to our home gym to get feedback because they're like, all right, well, I feel like I can trust these people. And it looks like that's what you guys are trying to create through Gym Radar. And I'm here for it. So let's see here. We got a couple more comments. So Anthony Martinez said it was greasy. Said the pre-show was at 5 a.m. Yeah, I saw people time. Like I said, I'm like, okay. Doyle Basement said Eastern time zone here. So I usually got to stay up late for the grease. See, I can't stay up late. Well, it depends on what day your show or anything comes on, because I have to be up at 4 a.m. to do this. So if you have something Thursday night, if it's past 8, you can just not it. You know, I'll be part of the replay gang. That's just guaranteed. But because I work nights, and if you have something that's in the evening on like a Monday or Tuesday, well, hey, I can throw this on the background. That's my jam right there. I love it. Let's see here. Skip here. Chris ZX said Gym Radar and Massonomics are making us a proper country again. There we go.
He gets it.
Horns in the chat, boys. Oh, this is perfect. Yeah, I love it.
Big Nate.
All right. Waits Enjoyer said I'm on the wrong side of history for getting on the pod this late. Hey man, look, we take attendance sharply at 6:05 a.m. But I'm just glad you're here, man. And it's Strong Arm Sport on Gym Radar. Anyone have any of that equipment?
It is on Gym Radar.
I feel like they're not bells of steel, right? But yeah, more or less, yeah. All right. You guys are hilarious. So let's address the elephant in the room with the drink spotter. Okay. So I've had a home gym since 2001, and I think I got my first power rack in 2002. And that's about when I started looking for a rack mounted cup holder. So I put in the questions I sent you. I wanted to know why it took you guys so long to come out with the Drink Spotter, because it's a great idea. But I want to punctuate this with a little bit more rage, okay, and vitriol, because so hold on. So I said, fine. I said, well, nobody makes a dang cup holder. I just make it myself. So I go to like this local steel place, right? And they charge me $200 for this. Okay.
It looks cool though.
Yeah.
That don't you try to appease me right now. So anyway, so I get the thing. I said, all right, so let's get this cup holder. And I even had to explain to them what it was. I said, I don't understand why I have to explain it. I hope y'all went through this as well. I was like, look, it's a cup holder. Right. And I said, now I want to put it on my power rack. Why? Because I might get thirsty and I don't want to put it on the floor. All right. So anyway, we go through all that. I actually designed this off of like a lamp. So like picture a lamp bulb coming in.
Yeah.
But and then in a J hook, right?
Yep.
So anyway, they charged me $200 for this thing. So then I was like, well, if I'm the only one that's got one of these, maybe other people might want one, right? So I reached out to my uncle, and I didn't even have a name for it. I just said, well, I got this cup holder. We got to come up with a name, but let's see if, maybe we could sell this thing, right? I'm sure other people want to be able to, a cup holder for their power rack. So he said, oh, I like that. That's cool. He's like a marketing dude. He said, oh, yeah, man. And I said, well, what are we going to call it? He said, Drink Spotter. I said, oh, that's perfect. Okay. So then he's reaching out to a guy about patents and all that other kind of stuff, right? And meanwhile, I'm trying to figure out if we can get this made. Fast forward to I forgot what year it was, but it's the year that you guys came out with the Drink Spotter, right?
Because I was 2021, but I'm not sure. Maybe tell me.
That sounds right.
Be around there. That was my guess.
Because it was after lockdown, and I was in. So I had that thing made in, I want to say like 2020, maybe 2019, and it was just kind of like, and I was afraid to even show people. Like, oh, somebody's gonna steal my idea, whatever. Anyway, so then I'm in California because I was doing, I was live streaming for the USPA, and somebody sent me a link to your Drink Spot, and they're like, "Is this yours?" Because literally, I said I've been telling people, "Oh yeah, I'm the only cup holder," right? I looked at it and I saw the price for it, and my rage knew no bounds. So once again, I return to my question. You couldn't come out with the Drink Spotter just a couple years earlier, so I wouldn't have spent, because I didn't want to make cup holders. I have no desire to be in the cup holder business. You couldn't just, I don't know, just a couple years earlier and say, no, we got you. $50. This thing costs $200 plus tax. It's the only one in the world, because I don't want to spend $400 plus tax on it. You couldn't feel my pain. I know we didn't know each other. I know we don't read minds, like I don't read your mind, you don't read my mind. But I'm just saying, man, you couldn't just be a little bit ahead of me so that I wouldn't have to spend $200. I could have a nice $50, $60, $70. I don't care. I pay $70 for a Drink Spotter. It's better than $200 for this.
Yeah, good things take
Explain
time.
yourself.
Yeah, good things take time.
I can tell you, I wish we would have had it like 2019 or so, because there definitely would have been some sales we would have picked up those couple of years.
Oh my God. I was so mad. I got so mad. I was like, I did, what's the Denzel face? Like,
yeah.
because I literally looked everywhere for a cup holder. I was at Harbor Freight. I said, well, maybe they got, they got like the little, so they got something, right? Yeah. Well, at the time they didn't have it, but once you guys came out with yours, next thing I'm seeing like cup holders that you can attach by magnets to your truck. I see all the stuff that people were, people were just flat out copying you that I saw on Etsy. So then that made me feel a little better. I said, oh, well, at least I don't have to deal with that, because I'm not in the cup holder business. I'm not going to be in the cup holder business. But I'm just saying, man, you couldn't. Just a couple years.
Yeah, I wish could have saved you a lot of hassle. Could have saved ourselves some hassle too.
Yeah. So I have a standing policy that I don't charge guests. So we're gonna wait till the show's over, and I'll go ahead and send you an invoice for $150, and we'll just call it
for
even.
The difference.
Yeah, we'll just call it even. Oh yeah, I don't need all my money back. We'll just call it even. You know what I mean? That's horrible, man. I can't. And you don't even look like you have any regrets. You see that? You look at. Hold on, everybody, look at Tommy's face. 0 regrets right now. I mean, no remorse.
No, take my
No
word for it.
remorse.
There's some remorse deep down inside there.
It's deep. I see it. Anyway, Fat Matt says 4 a.m. Pacific time here for the homies. I'm here a little late, but that's because my NCO didn't tell me to be here an hour early. Hey, I'm sorry. Look, you're on the last show where you're gonna get sympathy for that. I'm straight up personal responsibility. All right. Anyway, let's see here. About time the IT department showed up. That's got to be another one of y'all's Massonomics days. I'm having a good time with this. Oh, this is actually a good question. So now Jared said it's a conspiracy. He said, "Was my welder a crew member?"
Oh, he
The
like fed us
conspiracy
the
is
inside
going
track.
deeper.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, this is starting to get.
Well,
deeper.
it wasn't Dean, was it?
No, it was not. It's the company's called Steel Materials, and they actually it was horrible because in fact now this is a lot of scar tissue, okay, right now. Because I didn't even ask him to see all this intricate engraving and all that.
Yeah.
I didn't ask for all that. I literally wanted this to just be flat, and I said just put my logo on top of it. Right?
I'm guessing that's where a lot of the cost came in. Was
yes.
Yeah.
I was like, what is this? And then, okay, here's the other part that I don't understand. The part that was the hardest for them to understand was having this here, so it could go around the back of the rack.
Right.
And I was like, I don't understand why you don't understand that something has to hold it on the rack, like otherwise it'll fall. So I had to like get them to show. I said, get a piece of unistrut and just hold this, and I'm gonna put a J hook on it. See what this does? Okay, well, do that with my cup holder too. And then I stormed out, and they ended up charging me $200. But yeah, there it is. Oh, Carp, this is not helping. He said the $200 drink spotter crawled, and the $50 drink spotter could run. Thanks, man. Oh my God. All right. Neckberg said, I heard Tanner and Tommy invented magnets. I mean,
Rare earth magnets. That's right.
he did say tertiary earlier.
Yeah.
He did say tertiary, so that kind of lends a little bit of credence. No regrets. Oh my God. I actually watched that movie too. I regret watching that movie. Let's see here. Make sure. All right. So, oh God, no. It said a $200 drink spotter on Oak Club's website would sell out quickly. You know what?
Probably.
That does make sense.
Seems underpriced almost, actually.
Yeah. All right. So enough of my pain. So until I started researching for the interview, I thought you guys started with a podcast, but I saw that your YouTube channel actually started in like 2014. I was a YouTube consumer back then. I don't know what you call it. I was in the audience. I was a lurker, in fact, because I didn't even make comments or anything. So take us back in the Wayback Machine. What was YouTube like from a creator perspective when you guys first started? Tanner.
Well,
Tanner started the channel, so
Yeah.
to really call what we were doing a creator, I mean, I suppose it was. It just was that nobody was watching it. I guess someone doesn't have to be watching it for you to be creating it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were inspired by that, I guess, by other people that we were watching, because Tommy and I had both been consumers of YouTube channels in the fitness space for a long time.
Basement Brandon viewers for a long time.
Basement Brand. If I was to just pick a couple that probably led us to our early start, Basement Brandon definitely. And for those that this is the hipster thing. Like, we were around watching Basement Brandon before Basement Brandon did home gym equipment reviews.
When he was doing like supplements and
and it was just his training vlogs and stuff like that. And we loved that. Also, a thing that was probably a big inspiration for us at the time was Mark Bell's Power Project. Powercast.
Oh, I love that podcast.
It was the Powercast, and we were like, that was sort of one of the first podcasts I actually listened to consistently ever. Like, when someone said, "Hey, listen to podcasts," I was like, "What's a podcast?" And then that was one of the first ones that I listened to. So those were just a couple, but yeah, what really happened is we lived together at a local gym. Tommy and I did. We didn't really know each other very well yet, but we were both into the same style training. So then we ended up becoming buddies over that, of course, because you recognize someone else in the gym that's squatting, especially 12 years ago when not as many people were doing that kind of. and it's like, oh, we're kind of into the same thing. And then one day I'm like, yeah, I think I'm gonna start this YouTube channel, and it's just gonna be like of training or whatever I can come up with.
Yeah.
And the name, I know the name is gonna be Massonomics, and then I can let Tommy jump in from there probably.
Yeah, Tanner had just mentioned to me at the gym one night that he had made this YouTube channel called Massonomics. I actually was like, damn, that is a really cool name. Like,
I do. I like that.
That name just, it like has something to it. And I am a graphic designer. That's my job. So it's the only time I've ever done it to this day. I'm like, I'll just make a logo for you for free. Like I just told him. I don't know why I told him
You're
that.
responsible for the vaguely suggestive logo.
I don't know why I did it that day. I said, yeah, I'll think of a logo. And the logo I came up with is the logo we have to this day. It's the logo we use on everything. I sent it to Tanner probably a week later, and he's like, wow, that's really cool. And then I was like, yeah, I know some people, we can get this on some shirts. And from there, it just kind of snowballed into, hey, we have some merch. And then another guy we knew was like, hey, let's do a podcast. And like, it was everything with Massonomics has just been a slow build over the years. And that was, I mean, that's kind of how the YouTube has been too. It's been a very slow build over the years.
So there's so many points of intersection because I was a huge fan of Mark Bell's Powercast. That was before there was the Power Project. And one of the things I really liked about it, because I was working nights back then. So I lift when I wake up. And what I liked about it is you knew exactly when it was on. It was always on at 2 p.m. On Monday. And so I could basically tell, okay, it's on now, and this is when I'm getting on the treadmill, which sucks, but I gotta run because I was still in the Marine Corps at the time. So I'm like, all right, let me just get on here. And I know at 2 p.m. I got a new Mark Bell's Powercast I can listen to. And that's one of the reasons why I try to do, now like stuff is typically all over the place a little bit with YouTube. And people don't even care. Like there are other creators who I watch, and I'm not going to mention their name because I'm about to kick their back in because they'll just like, they're going live. They're not in the home gym space, but it's like they're going live and say, oh, it goes live at 9 p.m. Just for example, 9:15, 9:30, they still haven't started. I'm like, what's going on here, right? Whereas we like to start on time. But that goes back to Mark Bell's Powercast. I knew at 2 p.m. his upload was on, right? And I could just, no matter who's on, I could count on it being up, right? And that's one of the things I like. And then I also liked, believe it or not, the poop stories.
Yeah.
That was a big part of it. Yeah.
Because for me, it was like, okay, well, it seems ridiculous, but he's using it to get people to relax. It's like, if you can relax enough and just laugh at yourself a little bit, then you move into like a serious thing. It's like a nice segue. I said, oh yeah. And I met him at the Arnold one year because I started like sort of an unrelated thing, but I started writing for his magazine when he had Mark Bell's Power magazine, right? So I started writing for it, and one of the people who I wrote about was at the Arnold, and I wanted to show him because he said that his he wanted to give a copy of the magazine to some relatives or something like that, and I said, well, I don't have any physical copies because I read it digitally. Right. So I go over to the Super Training booth and I said, hey, can I get, and I see the magazine right there. I said, can I get that? And they said, well, and it was Jim McD. He said, he said, if you buy something. And so I said, I don't mind buying something, but I flipped it open. And I said, well, that's me. I wrote that. He said, well, maybe lead with that next time. You can have it for free. Heck yeah. So that's how I ended up meeting Mark Bell. And I was like, dude, I actually love your show because the way that you guys interview people is how I try to do it. Like I learned a lot from you guys' interview style. Who were some of you mentioned Mark Bell and Brandon, who were some of your other inspirations back then, as far as just creating content, not even necessarily fitness content?
Yeah, with the podcast specifically, because so we've had our podcast for right at 10 years now, and we've never missed a new Monday episode once in 10 years. So we recorded episode 521 this week. So it's been a new episode every Monday for 521 straight weeks. And I really think the Powercast was in terms of the podcasting space, was the big one that we were all kind of consuming. And, that was a big inspiration. There was other ones like Iron Radio we had talked about, and they were so consistent for so long.
Yeah.
too. That was kind of a model, and that was our exact content model has changed, but what's never changed is the thought that consistency is the thing that we can use as an advantage in the long run that a lot of other people frankly don't do. You know, like a lot of people come and go on it, or they get busy and it's the first thing to drop off. And our thing is, no, it doesn't matter how busy we get. If we've decided that something's valuable for us to do, we are going to make it work. Like I promise there's been weeks when we're like, yeah, we're both pretty busy this week.
Yeah.
And in a decade, we just continue to do it. So, you know, those, I guess from ones that we looked at, it really was people that were very consistent at that point in time, which would be Brandon, Jim McD, and the Powercast. I don't know, Tommy, any other specific ones that come to your mind?
You know, it's hard to say because this is something we talk about a lot, is just projects and podcasts and YouTube channels just come and go all the time. Like we used to, like actually that was one of our best performing blog posts for years on the Massonomics website, is top 10 strength and conditioning podcasts you should be listening to. And we'd basically have to rewrite the list every year because 80% of the list would just be gone. Like it was, hey, we used to listen to this all the time, and now 6 months into this year, they don't make anything anymore. All right, well, here's a new one. And it was just, it's just this constant churn. So I mean, yeah, there's always inspiration. There's always sources out there, but there's not a lot of just long standing projects that continue to exist.
I would say Chad Wesley Smith was someone we watched as someone that's doing things that we appreciated the way he was doing it, especially in the later teens.
And Chad was one, he had a lot of different iterations of, you know, he has had a lot of success, and, you know, from a YouTube channel to Juggernaut to Beers with Chad to, you know, whatever he had. He's had a lot of
different, and everything else.
Yes. Right. He's had a lot of different ways that he's produced and made content over the years.
Yeah, I like the Fitcast. I listened to a little bit of Mike Boyle and so that stuff was actually helpful to me because my first job was at a gym, and I was doing like out of college was at a gym, and so I was working with a lot of special populations, and most of the stuff that, you know, if you do, first of all, any kind of schooling you do is always already going to be behind because how long it takes to make a textbook, and then any certification is also behind because they want to like test everything, make sure it's safe, everything they're getting you to do. So for the cutting edge stuff, I usually would go on T Nation, and from T Nation, I would discover, oh, this person's got a podcast or whatever. And I got heavy in the podcast because when I met my wife, we lived 300 miles apart. And so, you know, you're young, you're in love, so you drive to see each other every single day. And that's just what we did, right? So I was consuming a lot of talk radio, a lot of then I went to audiobooks because I got tired of, like, I didn't want commercials. I was like, just, you know, whatever. And then I went into podcasts again. A lot of it was related to, you know, like the strength and conditioning kind of stuff, right? Yeah. Biggest Brad said the fact that we don't have a knockoff Huck Finn barbell drink spotter yet amazes me. I mean, you know, hey, Tommy's got a notepad. He's writing stuff down. So ask again tomorrow. Okay, so now we have a viewer question. They want me to ask you, Tanner, how many Qdoba burritos you've eaten on the Massonomics YouTube channel?
I guess
this is the hard-hitting content that I expected. Yeah.
Something I would say is we don't really take any of our old stuff down for as bad as some of it is. We like to say that sells a story still. So there's some funny, really old YouTube videos out there where we were throwing stuff at the wall to see what sticks. And one of those was mass versus food. It was like an eating challenge idea. Mass versus food. There you go.
This is before the Costco chicken bake situation.
Well before. I don't think I knew what Costco was, probably. So and I think I tried to eat 3 in one sitting at Qdoba, and I don't know if I quite finished them or not. Maybe I did. You're gonna have to watch Mass versus Food and find out.
That is aggressive.
It's a deep cut.
Yeah. That's a very deep cut into the Massonomics YouTube back. I mean, we have there's over 1,000 videos on the Massonomics YouTube now, so you're gonna have to do some deep digging to get into everything that we've done there. It came to my mind when you were talking. One other, I think, good influence. You mentioned T Nation. Dave Tate has obviously been an influence on stuff we've done too. So
I loved you guys interview with him too, by the way.
Yeah. So we've gotten the opportunity to have him on our show. We've gotten the opportunity to go be on his twice now, and that
He's like a
is
sponsor or something, right?
yeah, they sponsor our podcast. So that's been that's been very cool, because 10 years ago, that would have blown my mind
Yeah.
that we got to that point. Now it's kind of daily business. It's what we do, but like that would have been mind blowing to me in 2014 when we started.
100%. I think one of the things with Elite FTS, so we're talking about influences. Actually, I'll start with you guys, because the idea of never missing an episode is one of the things that I liked and that I took from you guys. So this is year 3, right? And I'm still like committed, like, okay, we said we're going to be here every Friday morning. We're not missing an episode. So we haven't missed an episode yet.
Sweet.
Even when we went on our second honeymoon, or celebrated our 20th wedding anniversary, we still had a show, but we just pre-recorded it. But I was like, we're not missing a single episode.
Right.
And I think that there's a lot of value in it, because if you think like when I was in college, and I thought I was going to be a reporter, so it's doing all this broadcast journalism stuff. And one of the things they're talking about is like, people have to it takes time for people to fall in love with the show, any kind of show on TV, like, and that's why remember the old TV shows used to have like 20 something episodes, because they understood it takes time for you to build up an audience. And then there'll be people who discover it over the summer during reruns. I know y'all kids, y'all don't know what that is. There's a rerun, right? That's when you play stuff again that you missed, that you couldn't see the first time it came out, right? Because maybe you didn't get your VHS tape into the recorder in time. But I kind of took that concept. I was like, you have so many things that happen on YouTube, and if you kind of scattershot, you're just uploading when you feel like you don't really have a schedule, well, then your audience doesn't know what to expect. They don't know, okay, well, will it be here Tuesday? Okay, well, no, next week now it's on Monday, or I think I used the Cosby Show. Imagine if the Cosby Show came on Tuesday nights. Well, then next month it comes on Monday nights. Then the month after that, now it's on Saturdays. It's like you're never gonna build up a following that way. So I really love that, and that's something that I've tried to kind of emulate from you guys. For Elite FTS, I love the fact that Dave Tate said that he wants to give away information for free, which is why he charges for equipment. Mm-hmm. And that to me is like the most awesome model. I don't like the I frankly don't like the YouTube membership thing. I don't like Patreon. I want to just, I grew up with rabbit ears on the TV, man. I didn't have to. I knew there's a charge because of commercials, but TV felt free. You know what I mean? And that's kind of like how I feel about this kind of thing. So we cannot necessarily get there, but that's actually my goal, to get to the point where we're subsidized in some other way so we can just give you the content. You know what I'm saying? So actually, that's a pretty good segue. What advice would you give to somebody who's starting out today with creating content? You already said consistency, but if somebody says, "Hey, Tommy, how do I, what would you advice would you give me? I'm starting out today and I have an idea for whatever," right? What would be your best piece of advice for them?
Yeah. So I think there's a couple things there. The first one is, like we were just talking about, if you're going to make content on something, like, just actually really dedicate yourself to it. Like, decide a regular posting schedule and do it. Because if you're just getting into something, you say, okay, this year, I might make 3 to 10 YouTube videos, maybe. Like, you're just not giving yourself enough chances and experiments to even succeed in the first place. Unless you're going to be one of those rare people that somehow goes viral and your channel blows up, but that's becoming rarer and rarer all the time. So I think it's about the reps. Like, you just need to decide, okay, am I going to be making a video once a week? Am I going to be making a video once every 2 weeks, even once a month, whatever that is? Decide what you're going to do and do everything you can to stick to that, because those are all experiments, data points, just trial and errors to figure out what is working, what your audience likes, what they don't like. So that would be the first one. And then, we were just talking about, people that we look up to or people that you find as inspiration. And I think that's really good and valuable to have those. But at the same time, those people exist for a reason. And I don't think you should try to perfectly copy anyone. Like, you want your voice, people know how John does his show and does his stuff. People know how Massonomics does our stuff. Like, we've come to be known for a certain way that we talk about things and have our inside jokes. You know, in in the equipment content space, I think a lot of people probably do look up to Coop and Gluck and see what they have. And, you know, they kind of have these studios and all this free equipment. And yeah, they have that and they do it their way. But if you're just trying to do exactly what they're doing, there's a good chance you're not going to succeed because they're already doing it and you're probably not going to beat them at their own game. So develop your own voice, figure out your angle, your unique way, your creative way that you're going to do stuff. And then now that gives people something to be a fan of because it's new, different, or unique in some way.
Hey, I agree with that 100%. If you make something like, well, for one thing, what you guys made is completely unlike anything that other people were making, definitely at that time, and it's still fairly unique. But if you make something that's like other people, then people are going to consistently compare you to somebody who's already kind of mastered it. So you're always going to suffer a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So what about you, Tanner? What would be your advice?
Yeah, Tommy stole most of the really good talking points there, but I would agree.
Just make up something and look wise.
That my number one thing was what he said there is don't just try to be Gluck 7.0. Like he's really good at that and that works awesome and we're fans of his and we're fans of a whole bunch of people, but carve your own path a little bit. I'm not saying absolutely take stuff from all of those people, but carve your own path to some degree. The other thing I would add into everything else, all of those were actually my exact points. The other thing I would add is if you can find a way, and I think, John, you would agree with this, if you can do something that you can also have some fun doing it, when it comes to consistency and longevity, that is a part of the secret sauce for us, is that at the end of the day, we create all this stuff that maybe some of it is work at times, but the overarching theme is it's all pretty dang fun and we have a good time doing it. So that allows us to want to do it forever. You know, financial rewards and stuff like that are important if that's what you're after and that's what you're tracking. But probably more important is that it's fun or that you have a good time doing it.
Yeah. And I think, so first of all, I do agree with that. You know, there are days when I don't feel like getting up at 4 a.m.
Right.
You know, you know, especially like, you know, let's say, you know, just got off the road. I'm exhausted. Actually, the worst one was at when we did the HFA trade show in Vegas, because then the show, the conference was the back half of the week. So I was in Las Vegas and I had to wake up at like 2 a.m. to do the show. Well, but then we got invited to a Body Solid after show event, right? It was just like a mixer, but you can't miss it. So we go to the Body Solid after event and I had to leave. And I said, look, it's like, I'm going to have to like get up at 2:00 in the morning to do the show. So I'll get about 2 hours of sleep. And Scott was like, you're still doing the show? I said, yeah, I committed. We're not missing an episode. And what's worse is, so I was interviewing Phil Patty that day. So I had to make sure, so I had to get Phil up to be on the show. And it was like, you know, 3 a.m. for him. So we're all groggy. We're on the show and it's, you know, and I think Jake was on too after Phil. So he's just as groggy. None of us are used to this abuse and we're just on the show. But it to me, when it's a passion for you, it's not as hard. And it's not going to be a passion if you don't enjoy it on some level.
Right.
You know, there's only so much grinding that you can do before you're like, man, this is pointless. And you just want to quit. Let's see here. We got a few more. Well, we got tons of comments, but I love it. George Risto. What's up, George? Good having you back on the show, man. He said they'll just let anyone on this podcast. Probably the best crossover since DC Marvel in the 90s. That is a high bar, my friend.
Nailed it.
Seeing Superman with the shield and or Captain America's shield and Thor's hammer. That was a momentous occasion. So, all right, that's a high bar. Appreciate it. Glad you're here. And Anthony Martinez says you guys are very prompt to your podcast start time, and you even start before the podcast. If you're not early, you're late. 100%. Let's see here. It said you're the Dan Patrick Show of fitness content. That's hilarious. Hey, Rex. Rex said, I finally made it. I wanted to see
Coach
you in the
Tech.
Massonomics. Man, that dude, he's so one of the most motivating people, man. You know, you see him at Home Gym Con. He's like, he wants to take pictures with you, tells you he loves your stuff, you know, pause. He loves your stuff. And you know, it just fires me up every time I see him. He's actually the first one to ask me if I knew about Gym Radar. When he was on came on the mailbag show. He said,
spread
he
the
said,
good
you know
word.
about Gym Radar? I said, I do. Hey, I got a I said, in fact, I'll follow you on there. I promise. I got a profile. He said, I finally made it. I wanted to see you and the Massonomics guys this morning because they're so much fun because they do so much to build community. I agree with that 100%. And now he's making promises. He said, I'd like to take them to Taco John's for lunch and let it morph into dinner. I think
Don't
we can
threaten us with
damage.
a good time.
The perfect day.
Okay. All right. We're getting dinner plans together. We're breaking new ground here on this show. All right. Look, he's even saying he wants to, he said, I do not mind chipping in some money. The Bible says a worker is worthy of their hire. Yes, it does. So I've always felt like in cases like Massonomics and Garage Gym Life, I'm merely blessing those who bless me. And I think the cool thing about what we do, not to speak for you guys, is it's also like it's not going to like bottleneck with me. So if somebody, let's say they become a channel member, that money doesn't just come to us and then it's just like, oh, good, down payment on my limo, right? Instead, it's going to go through the channel and we're going to figure out a way to bless somebody else with it. And I feel like you guys are the same way. It's like, I feel like we're blessed to be a blessing. We have our platforms so that we can use our influence in positive ways to help other people. Even if, no, actually, I'll say it a different way, especially when nobody else is going to find out about it. You just, it just lets us open doors. And I think that that's a huge value. So I appreciate that, Rec. And you guys want to chime in on that?
The finances is an interesting thing because like no doubt, it's nice to be able to make some money doing this. So it's not purely a hobby. There is some monetization in the content side of things, but one of the great things about making some money is because you can now do some things like you were talking about, like give back.
Yes.
We put on a huge powerlifting strongman meet every summer.
Yep.
Yeah. And like,
it doesn't make very much money. That's
no, it makes
a lot of work for
as far as financials go, you could argue that it makes sense to not do it when you consider all the time we invest into it.
Yeah.
Our gym tours, we basically publish a new YouTube gym tour every single week. And it's not, as far as Google AdSense goes, it's not like, oh, those make a ton of money, but we just know in the scheme of things of, more people finding out about Massonomics, spreading the word about the community. Like it's just, we kind of describe things as this black hole where eventually you get sucked in somewhere and it's either helpful to you or
now we got you.
Just having some money come in allows us to do a lot of things that we wouldn't be able to do otherwise.
So speaking of, that's an excellent segue. You should do this professionally, Tom. It says, speaking of letting people know about Massonomics, this is a good time to do that. And that's how we'll close this out. I didn't think we would get to all the questions, which is my sneaky way of making sure you come back and do another episode. But before that, or until that time, go ahead, let everybody know everything you guys have going on, how to get onto Gym Radar, how to just check out your latest blog, all the places they can encounter all of the things that you guys do, and whoever wants to take it.
There are a ton of different things you can check out with Massonomics. The first one, because it's so relevant right now, I'm going to say to go to gymradar.com. It is free to join up, free to sign up. You can add your gym, check out everyone else's gym on there. There's over 1,000 users on it already. You can leave reviews, check out other reviews that are people are leaving about equipment. Like I said before, if you're going to check out a new piece of gym equipment for your home gym, we want Gym Radar to be a place that you come to. We want to be a place that you come to get inspiration for what you're doing and hopefully share your inspiration with other users on the site. So that's gymradar.com. We're very passionate about it. We think we got something really cool here and we want to share it with you. We want you to check it out also. Then Massonomics, which has been going on for over a decade. We've got the podcast that we talked about, a new episode every single week. You can watch it on YouTube. You can listen to it anywhere that podcasts come out. Our home gym tours, which we've published maybe about 60 of those on YouTube now. There's a new one almost every single week. We do have a new YouTube video every week, and a lot of those are home gym tours. We're just starting to release some from our Detroit area. We got some coming from Ohio, some coming from Chicago and Wisconsin soon. We've been to South Carolina, North Carolina, Connecticut, New York, Southern California. We've been all over the place. John, it won't be long until we'll be messaging you and saying we're coming to Georgia. When can we get a
Come on down
gym tour? Yep. So that'll only be a matter of time. So please watch our gym tours. That's a big thing that we've got going on. And then you can buy merchandise from our site. We sell t-shirts, various home gym pieces of equipment. We sell a lot of horse stall mat products. You can buy coasters, grip tools made out of horse stall mats. It's not just flooring anymore. It can be anything your heart desires. And the drink spotter, John did a great job highlighting the drink spotter. We've always got those for sale at Massonomics.com as well. Tommy, I covered some of the most important stuff. Is there anything I'm missing with the pitch?
I mean, there's always more stuff. You can follow us in all the places that you consume
Yeah.
content. There's a good chance we're there producing new content daily, weekly, or more.
Awesome. Dude, this is so much fun. And before I let you guys go, I got to give a shout out to Joey Echeverria, because Joey was very instrumental in making this happen. He did a lot of work behind the scenes to connect us. So
you say his name much better than I do too.
I practice in the mirror. But that's my dude, and he usually is part of the replay gang. So shout out to the replay gang, all of you guys who are watching. Make sure that you subscribe to Massonomics on YouTube. Make sure you follow them at all the places. Go and sign up on Gym Radar, like they're saying. It's free. And in fact, if you sign up on Gym Radar and then you go to my community post section and you put your channel or your name on Gym Radar, I will follow you on Gym Radar. All right. People always like for people to follow. So I will definitely do that. All right.
Sweet.
Tommy, Tanner, appreciate you guys being here, and we definitely got to have you back on.
We appreciate you. Thanks for letting us have the opportunity.
Thanks a lot, John.
Anytime. Later. You guys take it easy.
Yeah.
All right. So that was people who needed no introduction, but I gave them one anyway. The really cool people from Massonomics, Tommy and Tanner, and I had such a good time having them here on the show. Now, if you guys are watching on the LinkedIn, I want to say it is 8:01. So good morning to those of you in the Mountain Time Zone who are just joining us. Make sure that you don't just join the show and watch. I need you to hit the like button, hit subscribe. And if you're watching on LinkedIn, I need you to follow Garage and Life Media on LinkedIn, because I don't want you to miss any of our interviews. We just wrapped up one with Massonomics, but we've got tons of on-location interviews as well that we put on LinkedIn, especially with business thought leaders, little quick 10-minute videos or less, where we just ask them to unpack some of the why behind the things that they do and how their business works and how their business is trying to serve people every day. We've got several on there we just uploaded from HFA. Got a really cool throwback interview with Jason Campbell, president of Surplus Strength, that's going to be dropping this coming Thursday. Right now, though, let's welcome my final guests for the day, Halika Hart and Callum Watson, two of my mobility coaches from Flow Motion Fitness. They have, no joke, been incredibly instrumental in getting me back from the brink of shoulder surgery. And not only did I come back from, I thought I was going to have surgery to be able to function. And they got me back from that to actually being able to squat, bench press, and deadlift pain-free. Even as I'm starting to push numbers in the bench press specifically that are, we're already in the lifetime personal record area. So I wouldn't be able to do any of the stuff that I do now if they hadn't made it possible for me to do that. So Holly and Colin, I see you guys backstage. I'm going to go ahead and bring you on now if you're ready. And thanks for getting away too early with Garage Gym Life.
Thanks for having us.
Took his hair down. So earlier he had the man bun going, but he said, "Oh no, I'm going to be on the show with John. I gotta."
Yeah.
Oh man.
To go on a run, so
Yeah, we just finished a little 6-mile run up at altitude, so.
So
Yeah.
you like to have your hair down when you run, so you just kind of like billows back, like a banner when you're running. Is that what's going on here?
It's tucked away.
That's how we're living. Okay. Man, every time you come on the show, I like to joke and say that what do you call it, locks of love? Like my viewership from Locks of Love goes up. Anyway, but like I said, you guys are my mobility coaches. I have tried a lot of different apps. I've tried a lot of different things, but you guys have kind of like helped me put myself back together. So I think there's a lot of value. If you're watching right now and you're watching live, what I need you to do, if you want some feedback on it could be the most random thing that you used to be able to do that you can't do anymore, right? Let's say you're having a problem tying your shoes and you've got video of that. First of all, that's going to be entertaining for me anyway, but go ahead, tag at Garage Gym Life and post the link to it in here in the chat. Or you can just say, hey, I just tagged you on Instagram, or I sent you a DM or whatever. I'll go get it. I'll share the screen, and that way they can kind of look at your positioning and everything else and be able to give you a little bit of feedback. And you guys do this all the time, right?
Yeah,
with
yeah.
your Q&As. Other
Never
than that,
analyzed anyone's lace tying before, but,
No, but lace tying is
today's
fun,
the day. We break
Today's
history
the day.
on this show. You know what's the weirdest human thing, normal human activity that I can't do anymore? And I don't know if it's a mobility thing or if it's that I've just gotten wider, but I have to use a back scratcher because I physically cannot. I mean, I can get back there, but there's a portion of my middle upper back that's just untouchable, right? And so I'm just like, I used to say, well, I need to work on my mobility and all that, but I was like, well, hold on, I'm just wide. I just can't. There's no way I can reach that. So that's one of the things. However, I don't think I've told you guys this because when would it come up in conversation? I can now wash my back in the shower without having to use an external device. So that's progress right there.
That's progress. Yeah.
Hey, look at that. All right. And in fact, we were at a conference, a trade expo in San Diego. And the guy told me to do an RDL. My guy, Will, right? He said do an RDL because he wanted to show me how this machine worked, right? I said, okay. So I wasn't even thinking about it. I just went ahead and I did it. He said, whoa, you're more flexible than I thought. So first of all, I said, hold on. I'm not sure if I should be offended or not. What are you trying to say? Right? I don't look like I can touch my toes. I mean, what's wrong with you? But to me, the big thing is it's not something I had to like warm up and organize myself and, get my system ready and say, okay, let's breathe and breathe, brace. Okay, I didn't have to do all that. I just did it. You know what I mean? And I think that's the biggest value of working with you guys. The kind of stuff I can do without having to go through this huge warm-up process before I do it, and I don't think that people see that benefit of mobility work, if that makes sense.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, cold mobility, like being able to just bust a move or get into a.
Oh wow, okay. Young MC. Okay.
Well, sometimes like we'll be like, right, there's a photo op, let's go. Like there's like this cool place we want to like do something on, and I'll be like, right, Callum, just do a sissy squat. And you're like, damn it. So like you go and do it, and it's just like we couldn't do that before. I mean, without warming up.
Yeah, and so I think that people sometimes think when it's like mobility work, they think about how much it's going to take away. Like I don't have time for all that, right? Mm-hmm. But I think of it more like, well, sure, but it's going to add a lot of things to your life that, in terms of giving you back some abilities that you didn't have before. Now, there's something that I did not on purpose post in there while I'm waiting for people to ask questions and all that. Is a nice little segment that I decide I'm going to do anytime I have someone on who's in the mobility space. And that is what led to this picture. Okay. Yeah. Because I see some of the stuff y'all do. And I just said, and I don't think I've ever been in a place where this was going to happen. So let's go ahead and let's just pull this one up and just say, what led to this?
Oh, that.
That was
a photo shoot.
That was our first ever photo shoot as a couple, and that was when
our first website.
Yeah, for our first.
How did you? But how'd you build that? You're like, okay, did you guys just come up with that, or did the photographer say, okay, can you put your feet on his head, and but don't face the same direction? I mean, like, okay.
Yeah, the photographer, like, they were into training, like we
actually coached them.
Yeah, they were our clients.
Okay, so they knew you could do this.
Yeah,
they were putting us in all kinds of weird positions. Like Callum, there's a scaffolding over there. Like,
go jump on it.
Go and do a lever on it.
Well, Hallie, go put yourself on that wall.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Okay, so.
That.
I mean, and I like it because it says if your shoulders are causing you problems or they're hurting now, don't shrug it off. I'm like, okay, so or you could just get down. Okay,
that is very old. But I remember to really like
To
taking
2018.
Yeah,
Wow.
we used to take like taking like a bit of kit and just training in a park and being outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you just went ahead. So you went through the entire thing where you're like you went through. I forgot what that's called.
German
Where you-
hang.
Yeah.
And you just
Yes.
went ahead and did. Okay.
Skin the cat,
Yeah, we
actually.
used to
Skin the cat. Yeah, skin the
Yeah.
cat.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. No, I don't trust me. I've got more because I was like, what led to this? I'm trying to get to my favorite one. It's down here because
These are all our old original very first posts back
Yeah.
in 2018.
What's it-
Oh, I tried to tell
Promotion
you.
Fitness UK
Ah, is it?
on Facebook.
Huh.
Yep. Yeah, I told you guys. So this is when I was trying to find a good thumbnail photo, and this one definitely.
Yeah, that's my client. Actually,
I was like, that's not gonna.
so.
So how long did you guys work with this person before they agreed
Oh, I
to
actually
do
worked
this?
for her for about maybe a year or two. She was like
Yeah.
so much fun. I literally
Oh.
got. I swear I got abs just from laughing with her.
What's her name?
Michelle.
Michelle. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is amazing because I know, I have friends I'm really, fairly close with. I don't think I ever am going to be in that position with
Yeah.
really
unique
lying.
The client relationship that I built there.
I see that. That was the one that I was like, okay. How'd this happen? And how did you get out of that? Almost as noteworthy as that.
Oh, are we back?
Yeah, just in time.
Sorry.
You're back?
Yeah.
No, that's okay. Because you're just in back. You're back just in time to see that.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
that's some crazy hip flexibility.
Yeah.
especially on the hard floor.
Yeah.
Well, look, we used to like basically dedicate a decent 20 minutes of the session to play around with like acro yoga is what it was called back then. It's like yoga but like acrobatic yoga where you'd like pick people up. Like there'll be one somewhere here where I used to do it for hours with some other clients just because like they enjoyed it. It was fun. It was hard. Yeah, basically lifting people up and getting into funny.
I want to know how your feet are facing out.
Hip rotation.
That's a mad knee.
None of that looks comfortable. I'm just saying,
No.
especially not on the hard floor. I was just like,
it wasn't too bad, that one. I think it was probably actually worse for her.
okay. I've decided not to believe that, but sure, okay. Now the part of the reason, I mean, that was fun and all that, but part of the reason why I brought that up is because a lot of times when people think mobility work, they assume they're gonna be doing like that.
Yeah,
Stuff. And first of all, most people can't even get in that position, right? So that's what they always say. So, I'd die if I try to get, in that kind of position.
Not necessary. That's like extreme.
Yeah.
But what's actually like what I started out doing with you is like simple like quad stretches and like simple stuff that you would do. You go to track practice and like stand there and do a standing quad stretch or a runner stretch or whatever. Those are like some of the foundational things I did. So when you're first meeting somebody, meeting them, because you coach so many people online, do you have to get past that? Like where you're like, people are like, okay, I know I need something, but they start explaining to you all the stuff they can't do because they're trying to make sure you don't try to get them.
Oh yeah. I mean,
bend like a pretzel.
The consultation process is really extensive that we do. Like we'll give them like the assessments to do.
So they froze again. Apologies if they freeze because Holly and Colin are actually on the mountains in France, and there's apparently a snowstorm going on where they are. So I'll go ahead and they just dropped off for a second. They'll be right back. But yeah, so there's a snowstorm going on where they live, and so their internet connection, Starlink, may betray them for a second, but they'll be right back. Just bear with us. And there they are. All right. No, that's okay. I was just explaining to them that you guys are on a mountain in a snowstorm, trying to use a satellite link up.
Yeah.
And okay. But yeah, so the onboarding process is extensive.
Quite extensive. Yeah, the conversation usually lasts about an hour. And through all the results of the joint assessment. So it's individual joints and it's functional movement screens. And then if there's any specific issues, we'll go deeper with specific muscles that we can test. So there's a lot of testing in the beginning, a lot of discussion into what they're feeling, what sports they used to do, what injuries they used to have, even back to like, because it all is relevant. And then, yeah, they'll also tell us what they can't do right now because that's relevant, or specific sensations they have. And yeah, we always explain that it's a process, because mobility training is not as fast as bodybuilding or building muscle.
I think people that come to us as well, they kind of know what to expect in terms of training, because they follow us.
Like, okay, so this is a good point for you guys to if you guys want to put some comments in the
there we go.
Yeah.
In the chat for Holly and Colin, go ahead and start putting your comments in there and your questions, and they'll go ahead and answer them. So you said people come to you and they follow you probably on Instagram, social media in general, so they know.
Yeah, so they're not like, we're not like really sharing that stuff you showed earlier, like the poses and stuff. We don't really, that we did back in the day, Hallie especially. But nowadays, like you've seen what we post on Instagram, most of it is like, most of the mobility work we do looks like strength training.
Yeah.
That's because it is strength training, Callum.
Exactly.
Tell me, because I mean, I will also say too that one of the things that I'll go ahead and I'll pull up one of your videos that I was actually watching this morning that I think was really a good one, where you're talking about the squat, but you guys have regressions. So you say, okay, well, this is what I'm doing here, but there are also regressions. You don't have to start with this. And in fact, you say, don't start with what I'm doing. Don't start with that. But do you feel like, you said you guys were doing that in the beginning, do you feel like, or did you feel like you had to do that to kind of prove that I need to prove I'm mobile before you'll trust me?
I mean, funnily enough, we were never really looking to niche down into mobility. We were into, sports rehab in the beginning. We had a lot of athletes. It was just fun. Like, we just enjoyed it. And I think it naturally came about because we were both got into this because of injuries. And we both kind of took it further and further and further and started getting really obsessed with what can we actually do? If we can gain mobility back to pre-injury, can we just keep going? And so just kept going.
I think a lot of the things that look good on Instagram, they're actually really fun goals to aim for as well. Like, I always wanted to be able to do the sissy squat the first time I done it. So the diagonal stretch, I always wanted to be able to do the diagonal stretch. So they're quite cool skills to like develop, and they just so happen to be amazing for your mobility as well. So you get to train something that you enjoy doing, but it's also highly beneficial in terms of like improving your strength and your range of motion.
And they have like massive carryover effects. Like when I learned like this martial arts isometric kick, and kept learning it over lockdown. And then when we went skiing, I almost fell. But I caught myself in the kick and I got myself back up, and I realized, oh, I can ski on one leg with the other leg up here. It's crazy. Where did that come from? That was only from, obviously, the skill that I'd worked on.
Hold on a second here. We're going to stop sharing, because did you just say you were skiing on one leg with your foot in the air?
Yeah, if you go into my Reels section, you'll find it. It's like I posted it the other day.
Yeah.
You've got footage of yourself skiing with just one leg.
And I figured that out by mistake because I fell into it essentially.
Not on that recording.
No, not on that recording. But I discovered I could do it just because it was a weird thing I did to save myself.
Wow. Okay. I think that what I find interesting is like when people see your videos, or especially the one where you're doing like the side bends, and people are saying, and you have the thing where you say, okay, I was told never to load my spine, never do this and all that. And I find that when I'm doing the exercises that you guys program to address issues, a lot of times people say, oh, well, if you do that, you'll get hurt. Like that's the cure for the problem. But it's like people see it in like some of it is fear culture. But people are like, oh no, if you do that, don't be careful, you'll get hurt. My favorite is when they say you'll get hurt when you're older.
Yeah.
Right. Which I find hilarious because I'm 52. And I'm like, I'm actually in some ways my mobility is better than in a lot of ways it's better than when I was 32.
Yeah.
It's not better than when I was 22, but it's better than when I was 32, because when I was 22 I was doing martial arts. I was like, dropping into a pancake for no reason. And what's the big deal? I understand now. But yeah, I just think that there's a little bit of fear culture where people don't want you to do the things that, like, they're so afraid you'll get hurt. They're afraid of even the stuff that's going to fix you. If that makes sense. You guys have to deal with that.
A lot of it is because they see it and they know their body would be in pain to do it. Because I relate in a way, because when my back was so bad in the beginning of my injury, I'd look at things and I'd literally get shivers and like freak out by looking at them and be like, oh, I can't do that. So I reckon it could be where people have like restrictions or pain, and you found
there we go.
Yeah, I saw it. I was like, okay, there we go.
Yeah, it was by mistake, but that was literally just because I was learning that mobility thing separately.
There's no way I could do that. No way.
Well, I think that's interesting too, because people just assume, oh, you're mobile, so you can do everything.
Yeah.
Whereas you guys are the ones who told me there are ranges of mobility, and also, aren't you hypermobile, Holly?
Well,
in some areas.
Closer to, like, I'm not fully like.
You're not diagnosed.
A super hypermobile person, their thumb would go like here, and the skin. I'm not that hypermobile, but I'm not like super stiff like some people.
Yeah.
Like he's like super, like, his tissue is quite stiff, whereas mine's a little bit more bendy. So it does change the way that you train a little bit, but it actually, hypermobile people do get stiff, and through injury they can get very, very stiff and in a lot more pain than someone who, say, doesn't have that tissue type. So it's not necessarily a good thing.
Yeah. Well, I've heard of it that people use that as an excuse for not doing mobility work, because they're like, well, you can be too mobile because then you'll get hurt. Like they put under, you put a squat bar on your back, for example, and you try to squat, and then everything just kind of like you turn into jello or something.
So that's why it's so important for them to do end range strength training, which is part of mobility training. And if they don't do mobility training, essentially they don't have control of their mobility. They just basically have the range but no control. So that's where the danger comes in.
Okay. How tough is it to coach clients in different time zones, and with, like, you've got the issue right now with the snowstorm?
Okay, so that's not great when we're having a live call, but we don't have a snowstorm. But we did have.
Well, do you have any issues with people uploading stuff, like, oh, I couldn't get it to upload? It's that kind of thing.
Rarely. I mean, that's why we have a backup. So for our online coaching, we've got, like, they can upload all their stuff to True Coach that we can review. But if it doesn't work, they just send it via WhatsApp, which is always pretty much foolproof.
Okay. So one of the things that we had to work through, and I think that there's one of those. It's I'm trying to, like, go through all of the things that cause people to hesitate about mobility coaching, and I know at least one person who was watching, Letha, was talking about she wants to start doing this with her clients. So, Letha, if you're still watching, you have any questions about how to get started doing this with your clients, feel free to ask whatever you want about it. But when we started working together, there was like like any kind of coach relationship, it was like we had to, like, kind of like figure out what not only my goals were, but also the big thing for me was the available time. Because I would say, well, so we did the assessment. You say, okay, well, this is what you need. And then I'm like, all right, but I'm still trying to do my normal training. And I still remember, like, you guys sent me the thing and said, okay, here, do this as the warm up, do your normal training, and then we'll take over from here, right? Well, powerlifting training takes a long time because you rest a little bit longer between sets. And I still remember I was like, this is taking me like 2.5 hours to do. I don't have time. And you like, it only takes me like, 45 minutes to an hour at most. And I was like, yeah, but there's this piece in the middle that I guess you don't understand that I'm doing, right? And so then we worked, through it. And where we are now, and I think this is important for people to understand, it is where we are now is we kind of like make priorities. You guys say, okay, well, what's your priority now? What is the thing you're working on now? This is gonna, so like right now I'm working on increasing my bench press. So some of the other things have to go into maintenance mode. which means it's going to slow me down ultimately in how quickly I can get to, I don't know, the reverse or the natural leg extension, right? But it's like a give and take. So how do you guys, I know you probably have to do it in your own training. How do you balance that with yourselves? Like, okay, I'm getting ready to go skiing, and that's the most important thing for me. Do you put other things on the back burner, or how do you balance that out?
Yeah, for sure.
I think I always think of mobility work as like a supplement to what I'm already doing. So all the main stuff that I do, like the strength training, the running, the skiing, I do the mobility training on top of it just to keep my joints healthy and just to keep me pain-free and able to do those other things. So if I start realizing in my weightlifting that I'm spending a lot of time doing overhead press and I'm spending a lot of time doing bench press, and I tend to like get a little bit tighter in shoulder internal rotation, I can feel those restrictions creeping in, because naturally it does, especially when that area becomes fatigued. I just think, well, what do I need to supplement into my training mobility wise in order to make this issue disappear, make it not become a problem long term? So it might just be one extra set of shoulder internal rotation, you know. Session. But if that's the case and you're just trying to make up lost mobility work, then you can just add a little mobility session, 20 minutes at any point throughout your day, just to get it in.
Yeah, and it also depends on the level of how far you've been mobility training, because you've been mobility training for like a decade or more. So you can kind of like get away with a little less. Whereas when you're in the beginning of a journey and someone's in a lot of pain, you kind of have to prioritize that a little bit more if the ranges are really and there's like a lot of pain, or like you're trying to avoid surgery. So then it's a bit more important. And then as you move forward, you can blend it in different ways. So in the beginning, we would put it at the end of your session with your active work so that it didn't impact your lifting. But as you're getting better and better with mobility, eventually we can probably put more of the active work in your warm up, basically 2 birds with one stone. And then eventually you'll be doing less time of it overall.
That makes sense. It's like then it becomes okay, make sure I can still do this, make sure I still have this range, make sure this is there, use this to so going back with the bench press, and even with squats, I find that if I have a little bit of a pump in my rear delts and my external rotators, then it's better for me on the bench, and it's definitely good for me on the squat, because if I'm like tight back here, like it wants to pull me back, well, that helps me get under the bar.
Opening up that shoulder external rotation, is that what you mean? Activating the rear
delts? It's like I get my rear delts like to get, you know how like you get a bicep pump, it's hard to straighten your arm. So the same principle is like, well, just get a pump back there and it's going to automatically pull it back in position.
Exactly.
To counteract other sports. So say like, you know, your client's going skiing for 2 weeks. You know, skiing is going to impact their hip flexors, the popliteus muscle at the back of the leg, because they're not going to be straightening
their lower back.
Like their lower back. You know that they're going to need to do some extra work on that area. And things like, say they know how to carve, they are not going to need to use hip internal rotation exercises for that time. So you could chuck that out. And then you can put in stuff that their body isn't doing so that they don't feel the pain. Because a lot of people complain their knees start hurting, their back start hurting when they go skiing. So, you know, there's ways around that.
So we got Carlos. Carlos is about a month or two, I think, younger than me. So he's also 52. He says, I was just talking about my standing press being trash in one of your videos, John. This may be what I need to do. So in terms of that, you may need to do mobility work. Yes. I don't think it's a may. I think and I want you guys to chime in on this, but from talking to you guys, one of the things that's in my head now is, or I'm conscious of, is everybody does mobility work. It's just a matter of, just like people say, well, I don't like to stretch. Well, I'm sitting down right now, so I'm stretching. It's just, so some parts of me are being shortened because I'm sitting. Other parts are being overstretched. We just don't think about it because it's like, oh, well, it's not uncomfortable because you're used to sitting in a chair. So I will add to Carlos drives a lot for his work, for his job.
Okay.
So now you're starting to see like how his shoulder is a little bit forward. So if you see him, and I'll try to pull up a video. If you have any videos of yourself, I don't know if you're in position to be able to do this, Carlos, but if you have any videos of yourself doing a standing press that you can share, that'll help. But if not, at least just show something where you're like, where we can see you from the side. That way they can kind of get an idea of what you're looking like. Then that'll help out a lot, because that'll allow them to give you a little bit more specific feedback. But as far as the whole stretching thing, like, and you know, everybody needs to be do some sort of mobility work. What do you guys say about that?
You just cut out. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, just
That's
the
okay.
end there, cut out.
Says, what do you guys say about the notion that everybody needs to do some sort of mobility work of some kind?
I'd say in our modern world, yeah. There'll be certain joints that don't work in certain ranges. So for example, you could easily be not doing hip internal rotation, shoulder internal rotation, shoulder external rotation.
We'll come back.
Sorry.
There we go.
It's okay.
Yeah, there's a few joints that are very traditionally not trained with traditional training as much. So those are like the main things that I would like, look at. But then with certain sports or certain occupations, you'll have certain things working overtime and other things not working at all. So yeah, I'd say to a degree, there'll be imbalances in absolutely everyone. And I know that after, if say we went skiing for 3 months once, I know that we had things to fix after that, especially when we used to do one specific journey. So we were going one way on one leg. So we basically our hip rotation per side. And that gave us a nice little imbalance. And that gave me like actual pelvic tilt and stuff. So I was like squatting sideways. So like these things happen. You're a surfer, you're a windsurfer, you do different sports. You cycle a lot, your hip flexors start getting tighter. If you aren't aware of mobility training or joint function, then that can be really like mystifying. Like, what am I supposed to do? It's just feeling strange.
Right.
That's one of the freebies we actually just made is a 4-day hip mobility freebie where we talk about the main areas that can be culprits in discomfort and limitations. We
see if I can find that freebie.
Hip rotation and adductors, and then in every day, like we kind of go over the anatomy, the function, a bit of science behind it, what the studies say, and like a little self-test and program. So it can kind of just get people to sort of understand, like, oh, there's a lot to this actually.
Yeah. We don't tell everyone that they need to do mobility because we don't know everyone. Some people might be covering everything in their training. Their training might be so mixed if they're like mixed martial artists. Gymnasts, rock climbers, they've got
dancers. They have a lot of variety.
They have a lot of variety, and often their mobility is quite good. But I would say that if you're someone who is lifting weights, or maybe you're not even training, but as you're getting older, you're noticing that you're just less able to do the things that you used to be able to do when you were younger. So certain movements are a little bit more restricted, or maybe just getting from point A to point B is becoming a little bit harder, and sitting on the ground is a little bit more uncomfortable, or you notice that when you're sat down on the laptop or you're watching television that you're feeling aches and pains. Those are all things that people they think it's to do with their age, but it's actually completely to do with your age. It's more to do with the fact that you're just not doing anything to maintain that mobility of your youth. We're all born quite mobile. I think all of us can remember when we were younger being able to do a skin the cat. All kids can
play around on the jungle gym.
And the only reason we lose that ability is because we stop doing it. That's the only reason. It's not because we're getting older. And I think that's the misconception in the world that I'm getting old, my joints are degrading and all of this. But it's like the reason we train is to stop that natural decline that does occur.
Absolutely.
So I'll say with the mixed martial arts thing, I remember when I was training all the time especially with other people, I was very mobile in certain areas. So that's the thing, is like you end up with, so to the average person, you're like, oh, you're so flexible, you're so limber, right? Because they look at the things that you can do that they can't do. But just for example, that's when I first started having issues with my shoulders. because we were in this position all the time.
Yeah.
And so I have to like turn so you can see my neck. That's when my neck started to tilt. Because so I'm turning so you can see it, because if you're straight on, see I'm exposed.
Yeah.
So you end up like this, and you put it. Turn this up. So you're putting your chin into the pocket here.
Yeah.
You see how my neck is tilted?
Yeah.
So then you're spinning. So you're spinning. So you put your chin forward. You're like this, right? So you're spending a lot of time in this position. Well, then you're like this.
Yeah.
And you don't realize it. But to most people, they're like, oh, because you can touch your toes, you can do all this other stuff. Oh, you're very limber. And so I think when you do something like that, especially where you're going to get hit in the head, if you don't move your head out of the way, you end up with compensations.
Yeah.
And so I think even they need, in that situation, you just need to figure out what are the other things. What do I specifically need to address? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. Because
Yeah.
not everyone has to do everything. It's specific.
Right.
Yeah.
So we have so we're still waiting for Carlos's video, but Jared's very, very strong in the overhead press. He says, speaking of overhead press and bench pressing, should my shoulders be popping or clicking much? There's no pain, but occasionally I get some noise from the joint.
It's fairly normal, yeah, and it's a good sign that there's no pain. But what I've noticed is, Hallie will probably agree with this, is as your joint mobility improves, like the rotation, as you create more space inside the joint capsule for it to rotate, you get less of that kind of popping sensation, just because things are opening up and giving you more range of motion. When it's quite tight and you haven't really mobilized the joint, I feel like you can get a lot more, tendons sort of moving over each other, causes a snapping sensation. It can be uncomfortable over time. But yeah, if he's not getting pain, it's not necessarily, it's a good sign. It's not necessarily anything to worry about. He might even notice that it's not happening by the end of the session, because as he warms up and he mobilizes, it disappears. And if that's happening, then that's very normal.
Okay. That's why I told my wife whenever she saw, I was telling you guys earlier that once everything relaxes, my clavicle relaxes as I get into the squat bar, it actually pops. And so one side will pop because it's released, and then the other side will pop up like, good. And then the bar will go down this much further on my back.
Wow.
Because otherwise it's like this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not this bad, but that's basically what's happening. So then so then they open up and everything opens back up, and then it just pop. And I'm like, good. I can put
Is that your thoracic spine? You feel like your thoracic?
No, it's here.
Oh, your shoulders. Wow.
Yeah. It's like my clavicle feels like it just like pop. Good.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And then it just opens back up. But I was telling you guys that you save me money, because the normal recommendation when you have that issue in powerlifting, you start having elbow pain because your shoulders are tight and you're asking your elbows to do what your shoulders are supposed to be doing. Yeah. You start having elbow pain. They tell you just buy some elbow sleeves, and then you start out with single ply, then you go to double ply, then 3-ply, and just get the thicker and thicker sleeves. And it's like, but you just need to just get this back. And I haven't had to use my elbow sleeves in years.
Amazing.
Definitely since I started working with you guys. Like,
is that literally why powerlifters use the elbow sleeves? Are they starting to experience? There's no other reason for that. They literally, wow.
Because you can't use them. So if you're bench pressing equipped, then yes, you can have them on. But even then, they'll wrap their elbows with knee wraps. I know this sounds horrifying to you, but you wrap your elbows with knee wraps to give you some more rebound. But if you're competing raw, you're not allowed to have elbow sleeves on when you're bench pressing. And you definitely can't have them on when you're deadlifting. Yeah. So it's like, why would you have them on when you only see them wearing them when you squat?
Yeah.
And it's because your elbows are on fire. Because you're like this. You're like this trying to get under the squat bar, trying to put it back here, and you can't. So your elbows want to be like this, but so you want to be like this, but your elbows want to be like that. I mean, your shoulders want to be like that. So you're forcing yourself under the bar, wedging. They even call it wedge yourself under the bar.
Wedge
under the bar, and then it's got to go somewhere, and it goes into your elbows. So that's it.
Great.
we need to be coaching powerlifters
Yeah.
more.
I try to tell you, because there are ways to do it and still be able to perform. And the fear we have is physical therapists and people like that are trying to make us weak.
Yeah.
You know, and that's one of the things we want to get away from. So Letha, I mentioned her earlier. She said, I typed this earlier, but I don't know why it disappeared. In working with women, primarily 35 plus, I often hear I'm so-and-so years old, so I can't, you know, with various movements or exercises. And she wants to know, how would you address that in your program, and what advice do you have for being training clients who've already decided they can't do what you're asking them to do, or that you've programmed for them to do?
I think that just is like a mindset issue, and you've just got to teach them that the positions that they're scared of, that you've got to build confidence in those movements or those positions, because quite often people avoid movements because they think that it's high risk and it's going to cause injury. Like Jefferson curl, rounding your spine is a perfect example. People are like, I've hurt my back rounding my spine before, so I'm not going to load it up and do it now in my training because that's high risk. But in actual fact, it's more high risk if you don't do it. And the reason you probably got injured doing it is because you didn't train it. So quite often people will hurt themselves with a rounded back. That will be because they're not strong in that position. So with mobility training, we're just teaching people to get strong in that position, so that it builds confidence in them. And it's just about taking them slowly through the process, using the right progressions to get them to a point where they feel whatever they're scared of, you gradually get them to it.
Might help. I don't know this person's done any equivalent certification, but in our certifications, we teach our coaches to do joint assessments with their clients and from movement screen. So then you can know exactly what joint range of motion is limited by how many degrees. So you can match the exercise exactly to that, and then say to the person, okay, so we've done the test. We know that you have control up to this range, and we're going to start at this range, and then we're going to meet you where you're at, and we're going to bridge the gap slowly. That's also why we've done the mobility and strength certification too, which is the follow-on, because it then shows you how to use those assessments and programming methods to then blend it with conventional training and even advanced weightlifting exercises like Jefferson curls and Cossack squats and sissy squats. Because once you know the assessments and where your client's at, you can literally take them where they're at, no further. So you're not doing anything scary then, because you're just doing what
you're meeting them where they are.
Can do.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you're slowly building on that end range capacity until they can do a Jefferson curl, until they can do a sissy squat. And so if your client's kind of scared, then I feel like the tests are really important, not only just for you as a coach to be like, yes, that's definitely right, but like for them to be like, okay, it's been tested and right, this is the angle that we're starting at. And it's the same thing I just controlled myself into. It's not too scary.
Yeah.
I'll say another one that I think is a great example, and this is for me, is what's that? When any kind of heels elevated squat, where your heels are elevated on purpose, like the cyclist squat or something like that, right? Or skier squat, because that hurts my knees. Yeah. Right. And it's actually the same ish angle if I'm going downstairs. Okay. So going downstairs, whenever you like, I think a lot of people will figure that, like, you just relate to it, even if you don't have knee pain. Think about going down the steps after a heavy leg day, where your legs are really sore. You don't really go down the stairs slowly. You know, you kind of, you take a step and you kind of like fall a little bit, let yourself fall and then go fall and fall. Because if you take your time going down, your knees are throbbing if you're holding that position, right? So then when you tell me, hey, do a skier squat with my heels elevated on a slant board, now I'm in that position where it hurts a lot longer. And I'm like, you're insane. Is this can't be the plan, you know? Like, and then I'm like, what do you mean, you know? But it made sense to me when you're like, no, it hurts because it's weak. We have to strengthen it and kind of like desensitize it almost to that. I said, okay, because that scares you.
Yeah.
I want, because you've mentioned a couple of different programs you guys have, and I said I wanted to look at your YouTube channel to just show people And by the way, this is co-live streaming on Flow Motion Fitness YouTube channel. So if you see a subscribe button and you're watching my channel and you're like, well, I'm already subscribed to Garage Gym Life, click subscribe anyway, because that'll subscribe you to Holly and Colin, and vice versa. That way you guys don't miss any of the content. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share the screen and show people what you have on your YouTube channel, because that's where you guys have like some sample programs so people can get an idea of what it's like to use your app, and then we can talk about the app. So you mentioned the hip mobility challenge, so I'll go ahead and I'll pull that up right there. I have the sound off, but this is one of the freebies you were talking about. If you want to talk a little bit through this one, you can.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we just wanted to help people understand what's behind mobility training and how it's more to do with joint function. Because quite often it'll be like, oh, well, these dynamic stretches and this kind of thing is mobility training. It's a very confusing thing online because it's hard to explain it. And so therefore I've explained it in a little bit more detail as to what exactly the joint functions are, what muscles relate to those joint functions, what angles you're looking at, like a little self-test you can do at home. Obviously it's not extensive, but it's something to try. And then also what we're about, obviously, because we have 4 CPT certifications now and we're teaching coaches basically about this stuff. We wanted to add in a little bit of science so that they can understand there's actually quite a lot of studies proving connections with mobility training and how beneficial it can be for certain things. So I just added a little bit in there to kind of give them an idea of that. And then it finishes up with a sample program that they can try on the app so that they can kind of get an idea of how, not just like the theory and the science, but they can actually just practice and do it and kind of get how a whole mobility session is so much more than what you see on Instagram, really.
And this is one reason why I like YouTube for this kind of stuff, because you have a huge library. People are seeing all the videos you guys have here. And this is filtered, you can filter by latest, by popular, by oldest. But you guys also, I think you have playlists. Yeah, so you have playlists, like you have your hip mobility video playlist. You've got overhead mobility, follow along training. And this is kind of what people can get on the app. So while I have started paying for the app since day one, I'm like, oh, this is perfect, exactly what I need. If you guys are watching and you're not sure if this is for you, this is a good place to go. Just go to their YouTube channel, find the playlist that fits whatever your thing is that you want to improve, and just see if, and then follow along with it and see if it's for you. But let's say somebody is just like tight, like they're like, okay, well, I just in general don't, I just know I'm tight. Where would you suggest that they start if they don't have like a specific thing, like they're not working through an injury, or like Carlos was talking about his shoulders? If there's somebody who's just generally like, well, I just want to get in better, I want to have better mobility, where would you suggest they start on your channel? It looks like we froze again. I'll just ask them that when they come back. But as I said, this is actually a good time for me to go ahead and run this across again.
Yeah.
That's his point. Right?
Are we back?
You're back. Yeah. So I just said, so if somebody doesn't have any specific thing that they want to work on, they just know they want to become more mobile in general, where would you suggest they start if they go to your YouTube channel? Is there a specific playlist?
Yeah, there we are.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
So there's 2 different ways that you could just start. Generally, is the first thing is obviously just go to the app and get a free trial and then just test out
how
it works for you, because we've got lots of options on there. So we've got self-testing, at least you can get a rough idea. And there's short sessions and full programs. And actually I recently made one specifically for you, John, because you said you wanted something for powerlifting, so I made one specifically for that. But have so many different programs on there. And then if you're like kind of beginning, maybe start with the short sessions, and then the full programs are blended mobility and strength. But if you're not sure where to start, genuinely the best place to start is a joint assessment. And it's not expensive. We specifically made it a low price point so that everyone can get access to this, because it's the most important information that you need to know what to do with later, essentially. So yeah, if you can't get a joint assessment with us, then what I would say is just sort of try the free trial on the app and sort of have a little go at the short sessions, do the little self-testing that there's available, and then if you're ready for a full mobility and strength session, you could start there. And it does have levels, so we actually explain whether it's like for beginners or intermediate or advanced on each program.
Okay, so these are some of your programs here that are on your website.
Yes, that's completely different to our app.
Yeah. So I showed the app earlier while you were talking about it.
Oh, cool.
But this is stuff that's on your website for people to check out if they want to kind of try this stuff. But what I asked earlier was about your YouTube channel, because you have stuff that's on there that kind of gives people like a little starting point. So my favorite is the follow along playlist that's actually just called Follow Along.
Oh, we should add really, shouldn't we? Yeah.
I didn't, honestly, until you said you guys have playlists, I didn't even know we had
Every
playlists.
time I upload, I'll put something onto a playlist. But...
Well, it's been putting it into a playlist behind your back then, or somebody has
I
been.
think we need to
Because so you've got
update
so you've got your play. So see that's what it's showing right here. So it's like it shows warm-ups,
Yeah.
quads and hip flexors. So somebody organized it behind your back, and so when you
think
find out who
Alan
it is, tell them
a
thank you.
while back.
Yeah.
But you've got, like, just for example, you've got over 191 videos just under mobility and stability exercises. So you got
Wow.
like Jefferson curl and all that. And I think some of this stuff is important because a lot of times people see the Instagram challenges and like, oh, I wonder if I can do that. So then they go try the thing, hurt themselves, and then they're like, the exercise must be bad.
Yeah,
exactly.
When you could actually, there are ways to learn how to do stuff so that you don't hurt yourself, so that you can get that Zercher PR or whatever without hurting yourself, you know?
Cool.
Let's see here. Oh, and Carlos said prayers go out to you guys because he's having amazingly clear weather in Houston.
It seems to just be following us this winter. We had like
it was flooding in Spain. You went to France, nice snowstorms.
Yeah,
I feel like it's probably
Europe
you.
is getting storms.
I feel like it's you. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's me.
Let's see here. You guys mentioned that you offer your own certifications, more than one. But where did you guys go when you were starting out to gain your information, like to educate yourselves?
When we first started, like we were quite lucky in that the gym we were working in had like an education sort of thing with it.
Like
so we got
like a program where they bring in people to teach you kettlebell stuff.
So we basically paid a lot of gym rent, and that was apparently because we got lots of education with it. So we were happy to pay for this expensive gym rent just to get extra education. That was nice.
It was on nutrition and stuff like that.
Loads
It
and
wasn't
lots of
just
different
mobility
things.
stuff.
And then later, I really got into mobility training as I was rehabilitating my back. It first started with books and studies, and because I used to be an academic researcher, I would just read a lot of studies anyway. So I got really interested in that, and Callum was interested in it as well. And then I did a mobility and rehab certification in London in 2017 or 2018 or something like that. We'd already done so many courses by that point, and when I did it, I was like, I love this. It was so good. I loved the way it was put together. But there was so many things I wish it would have had extra in it. And like basically that got me thinking, maybe I should make my own one of these, because I was thinking of writing a book at the time to put it all together. But I was like, it needs videos, it needs expressions, it needs like interactive worksheets and stuff.
Sure.
So it kind of just like started in my brain, and it was like an obsessive thought for like 5-6 years. And we started making it. And in the meantime, you did FRC as well. And we just continued reading like a lot.
FMS, like by Gray Cook. My first initial sort of introduction to mobility training probably was through Hallie, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, when we first met, I was like still really affected by my back injury. I couldn't even walk properly. So
that's completely not how I thought you guys met. I just assumed that he was like walking by one day, like, putting his hair in a bun, and you were like bent back into some impossible position, and he's like, I like to bend myself up like that too. And then next thing you know, it's like we're meant for each other. That's what I really thought.
like 10 seconds.
Yeah, we're back.
10 seconds.
That's
Yeah.
all right. That's okay
Yeah.
because you got a subscriber to your channel while you were gone.
Awesome.
So there you
Thank
go.
you.
Yeah,
no.
I literally thought that you guys just met each other and you were both somehow bent back like paper clips and decided you
No,
were
I
meant for
mean,
each other, and that's what happened.
Callum like couldn't even like stretch his hamstring at all.
I was completely immobile, but I was young and I didn't realize. Like all I was interested in was building muscle and getting strong.
Oh wow!
And then I met Ali, and she had me doing like, Bulgarian split squats and full
I first
range of
had to
motion.
test with if this guy was going to keep up with me skiing. So I was like, great, we're doing a 5-hour leg day with exercises that I physically could do at the time. But like, that was a while into our relationship. I think in the beginning when we first like went on our first date, we went on a walk and I couldn't really walk back. Like I had a flare up.
Wow.
And it was like kind of really embarrassing. So I was like, okay, we've gone too far. It was only like 20 minutes. And I couldn't really walk back properly. So that was
because of your car accident?
Yeah, like my nerve would randomly flare up at any point. So I'd be walking along and then suddenly, I can't walk anymore.
Right. But I think that's important because people see you guys now and they're like, oh, you must have always been like, whatever. And the reality is that if people take the time to research your story, and in your case, Holly, it doesn't take long. Just look on Instagram. You've got the post where you say, this is where I came from. And I think it's important that you keep on reposting that and you pin it because people can understand, oh, okay, I can, if she could do that, go to where you can't even walk for 20 minutes without being in pain to where you are now, that it's just a process that they can also follow as well.
Basically, when we first met, we were both incredibly not mobile.
And in pain, actually.
And in a lot of pain.
So Carlos said relationship goals. I'm telling you, it's like I think that's one of the things too that you guys I like about your relationship. Naomi and I talk about it sometimes, like that you guys push each other, and I love how you guys support each other. So this is a good time to talk about goals because you each have your goals that you want to do. So as we're closing up, you said that you have each of you has some big goals for the year. So what are your goals for 2026?
You want me to?
I'll go first then. Yeah. So I recently got into running. Well, recently, I say probably about a year ago, started running, started taking it seriously. So I've been trying to mix that with my mobility training and my strength training, which has been hard to do it all, but I've managed to find a good balance between it now. My goal is to run a sub 3-hour marathon. I've got my first ever marathon at age 37 in Lake Garda on the 12th of April.
Okay.
Not going to run a sub 3 just yet.
I like how he said age 37. Like that's old.
Yeah. No, it's not old. I don't think it's old. But
no, it's not.
For my first ever marathon, a lot of people get into this a lot younger.
Gotcha. Okay.
I was well into weightlifting. Not really ever into running, but like I've just become hooked in the last sort of 2 years.
But we've had some like challenges with that because we had the storms.
Yep.
So we had hurricanes for like 5-6 weeks ish. We had no power for 3 weeks. We were just dealing with things falling apart and like flooding. So you didn't really get to train properly. We had to really dial it down.
No excuses though.
I know, but
work on your swimming. Work on your swimming.
It got a little bit challenging.
Carlos said 37. Bless his heart. Yeah, it's a baby. It's a baby. Okay, so you want to run a sub 3-hour marathon. That's your goal.
That's my goal.
All right. What about you, Hallie?
All right. Well, I actually have a little list of goals. It's quite a big list of goals. But I'm giving myself some grace. I'm probably going to have to like step it back for a few months before I try to attempt all of these again. But a lot of these are like weighted goals.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Weightlifting goals.
Weightlifting goals. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like weighted, like, okay. Kind of.
No. Like basically sometime between 2026 to 2027, I would really like to get back. So I used to be able to do 140 kilo deadlift. So now I'm aiming for 120 because I haven't done it consistently. And then, for example, 75 kilo front squat, 50 kilo lunge, 60 kilo bench. That would be insane because I remember when I used to find the bar so hard. I'd like to be able to. Oh, I already hit that. Bicep curl 15 kilo. I'm on that.
Look at that. You passed the goal and didn't even realize it.
Didn't even know. What else do I have? Oh, I'd like to run a 6-minute mile, which I was working towards before we had the mold exposure, and now I think I'm probably going to have to aim for that for 2027. But yeah, basically, like some of them are speed goals, some of them are weight goals.
Yeah.
15 kilo pull up.
I want my goal actually for 2026 is to bench press 150 kilograms, so twice my body weight. Because at the moment I'm 140, but I want to do that as well as running.
But still running there.
Yeah,
that'd be impressive. Nice.
Yeah, to have both. Like, I don't want to just like put all my eggs into running.
Yeah.
And lose strength. Like, I want to kind of be able to maintain it, if not actually advance my strength. So. Yeah, that's the goal.
Yeah, so quite a lot of little goals, but I find like
fantastic.
Fun.
So we're gonna. So now I'm gonna tell you, Holly. I need you to push that deadlift goal. It's got to be 140. I need it to be 142.5 kilos.
Okay.
Or 143. 143. And the reason for that is because, so the goal you told me was 308 pounds. But it'll be 315, so it's 345-pound plates if it's 140, if 143. So the math will still work, but you won't be using like the two big plates and then the little plates. We don't have time for that. We're gonna use all three 20-kilo plates.
All of them. Okay.
3 20-kilo. Oh, you can do it. 3 20-kilo plates. All right. So let's go ahead and scratch out whatever you wrote down, and you're gonna put 140.
You got to aim high.
All right.
Yeah, that's it, because I know you can do it. And part of that is, so number one, a huge part of deadlifting is just believing you can do it.
Yeah.
You have to believe that the weight is going to come off the floor.
3-rep goals, because I don't do 1-rep maxes.
That's fine.
So I'm going to have to do that for 3 reps.
Exactly. Now we're on the same page. Good. I feel good. Okay. All right. So anyway, as I was saying, so a lot of it is just believing that you can.
Yeah.
You know, especially with the deadlift, because, you know, once you started moving, the second and third repetition are easier because it's moving. But a lot of times you have to just believe that when you start pulling on it, that it's going to leave the floor. And if you don't believe it's going to leave the floor, you'll stop pulling before you break the surface tension, right? So I believe you can do it. I know you can do it because I've watched you deadlift in your videos. I'm like, oh yeah, everything's organized, as they say. It's there. It's just a matter of, you know.
Yeah. I would definitely say that's my my most fearful lift. Still.
Yeah.
I'm still scared of deadlifts and squats because, well, obviously because I know where my back has been in the past.
Sure.
So
but gradually, do it gradually.
I'm so
I mean, I don't want you to try it tomorrow, but I mean, but I know you can do it.
I do understand that when I keep deadlifts in my program and I'm strict with them, I feel 10 times better.
Yeah. And it goes up. So I mean, like, where are you now?
I'm at like 90 for 8.
Okay. Yeah. Heck yeah. Because so then the thing with I mean, like, if you were specifically doing it, you would obviously taper down. You know, the reps would go down and you make slow micro jumps or whatever. I mean, that's not even, especially because you did it before. But especially you've done it before. And and I think one of the things that I think is, now we're talking about a little bit off a tangent, but it's like one of the other things that I think is underrated as a deadlift accessory is just heavy loaded carries, because your body, your core, a lot of it is just your core needs to be strong. You do a lot of the hollow core hold. You do those all the time. That's a huge one because that's the top. That's almost the top lockout of the deadlift. So as long as you're doing those foundational things, and you believe the weight's going to move and your mechanics are good, it's going to happen, because it's not like your legs lose the strength, you know. So it's you just got to believe it'll happen. Keep your arms long, push the floor away, stand up.
Okay,
that's it. Repeat 2 more times. Carlos said my goal is a 300-pound bench press. So that's roughly what It's a little bit lighter than what you said your goal was, Callum. So that's 136 kilos roughly.
Nice.
So he's working on that. He's really close to it too.
Wow.
And even with him, it's another thing too. It's like a technique thing because we had someone else come on and he gave some deadlift, some bench press tips. Carlos implemented those tips and the weight just started going up because he changed how he was doing it. Because it's all just, it's not just yanking. So that's cool. Well, guys, I'm gonna let you get out of here. I appreciate you spending some time with us. Stay safe, stay away from the avalanches, and try not to, run in snowstorms with your hair out or whatever. You know who I'm talking to, Callum, But before you go, once again, let everybody know where they can find you. I know that we are streaming to your YouTube channel, but give them your Instagram and everything else so people are able to find you guys.
Yeah. So you can find me at Helinka Hart on Instagram, and Callum is
Callum Watson PT on Instagram.
Yeah, and then our website's just flowmotionfitness.co.uk. And
YouTube is
YouTube.
Yeah,
it's here.
And you'll find everything as well. You'll find us through our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Perfect. Appreciate you guys for being here once again, and let your dog know I appreciate the dog. Letting us borrow you for a little bit. You definitely got to come back on the show again. If you guys are watching right now and you have any questions that maybe you're watching on replay, shout out to the replay gang, you had some questions that were not addressed, put them in the comments on whichever channel it is that you're encountering this. Just put them in the comments and Holly and Callum can check it, can see those questions and answer them for you. Okay, if it's on my channel and I see the question and it's for Holly and Callum, I'll reach out to them, get those answers for you guys and let you know. All right,
thanks for
appreciate you guys for being here. Oh heck yeah, you guys got an open invite to come back anytime.
Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.
All right. See you. Bye. All right. So that was Hallie and Callum. Those are my mobility coaches. You see they're kind of going through it a little bit because of the bad weather. It's funny because they were in Spain and flooding hit. So they had to leave Spain and go to France to get away from the bad weather. And they got there and snowstorms hit. And so, yeah, they've had a little bit of some challenges, but I will post you can actually get the Flow Motion Fitness app in the App Store, or I will post the link to it from their website so you guys can download it. And here, I'll just go ahead and post it in the live chat here so you guys can grab it if you are interested in it. I've been using it. I think there are a lot of things you can spend your money on, but this one is not only inexpensive, but it's also very valuable. And it kind of takes the guesswork out of all of my mobility work. And I can just save my energy for programming my, powerlifting focused training and not even worry about the rest of it. So we got one more answer to the question of the day. This is from Kevin. He said, train and continue. Ignore the people asking why you do it. Eventually they will ask you how you did it. And that is 100% correct. All right. So that's it for today's show. Thank you to my wife, Naomi, for joining me today. Thanks also to my guests, Tanner and Tommy from Massonomics and Holly and Colin from Flow Motion Fitness for joining us, because they, along with you guys who are watching, are the reason why the show was a success. Make sure you check everybody out who I just mentioned. And if they ask you how you found out about them, tell them Garage Gym Life sent you. Next week, we've got powerlifting coach Sammy Seebach on at 8 a.m. Eastern time. He's going to be answering your training questions. Sammy was NASA Athlete of the Year, I believe, in 2017. And he's been coaching a lot of very strong athletes. So I'm happy he'll be coming by to share some of his expertise with us. He's also a physical therapist in addition to being a powerlifting coach. So just some more perspectives that'll help you guys get better, get stronger, be a little bit more dangerous. All right. So don't forget to tune in to Mailbag Mondays every Monday at 3:15 p.m. Eastern time on the Garage Gym Life Media YouTube channel. I've got a question already in the hopper to answer a question and that question was submitted by Harrison. He's asking a question on one of the X-Master Fitness GHDs. So we're going to answer that question. Also have an answer to a comment that PJ made when I interviewed him. PJ from Design Build Lift made when I interviewed him. We're going to answer that question or respond to that question. on Mailback Mondays this coming Monday. So it's going to be a good time. But until next week, keep on sharing the link to this show, the link to this channel, and keep stacking days. Okay? Peace out.